Welcome back to the PlugHouse podcast. I am your host, Mike Petterock, and as always, I got my dog Train with me.
Chugga, choo, choo. What it do, boy?
And today's guest is at Starbuks from Fairbanks, Alaska.
What up?
Yeah. And this episode of the podcast is sponsored by Magic Media.
Oh,
I'm not getting into it.
We'll get right down.
Yeah.
Okay,
If
cool.
you're looking for some, if you're looking for some media content creators to back your shit, hit up at the Glamour Bard on Instagram and on TikTok. Magic Media. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Fairbanks artist named Starbuks here, and he is well far from home, and he is one of the most active people I have seen in the community in the last 20 years. His name still rings bells. He continually drops new music, and he hit me and said, I'm going to be in town around Thanksgiving. Can we make this happen? And we make it happen.
Oh, thank you. Special.
Right? This is my favorite holiday, man. I don't celebrate Christmas, so my kids don't hang out with me on Christmas. Yeah, Thanksgiving is my shit, so they'll come and hang with me for Thanksgiving. But Christmas, they're like, yeah, he ain't buying no gifts.
Yeah, he
don't even got a tree.
So how long have you been rapping in Fairbanks?
Oh man,
when you put your first song out in the street
in Fairbanks.
Because you're not born here.
No,
right?
I'm born in Fairbanks. I
Okay.
didn't start rapping until I went off to college. I used to write raps, and I never started rapping. I was in the streets, man, in junior high and high school. My homeboys rapped. I didn't rap. I was on some other shit. But I went off to college, and my cousin who just, like my brother who just recently passed away, we grew up in the same house. He used to hear me rapping my shit in the shitter in the bathroom, and he said he used to always think that I was talking to myself until one day he got brave enough to put his ear to the door and listen, and he was like, man, he was in there rapping. He's like, you should rap. So he put me on to that. That was like 01, 02, but when I first started putting out records in I put out records in Oregon. I made my bones in Oregon, but I first started putting out records in Fairbanks 06, 07.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when MySpace was popping, you're like the second or third.
MySpace.
What first five artists I found in Alaska that I never met yet.
Yeah, it was because in Oregon, by the time I got to here, came back here rapping, I had already put out, been a part of 3 albums in Oregon, and that's minus the mixtapes. So I had kind of made my, like I said, I made my way in Oregon. I made my name out there first, and when I came home and I was just like, man, we got just as much talent as anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure. I think the oldest 2 projects I got of yours are Inside the Pyrex, right?
Yeah, Life Inside the Pyrex. That's old.
That
that's 2011,
yeah.
2011, yeah.
And then the other one that has the Arm & Hammer logo on the front.
Vegas Soda Box. Side Music. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
09.
I didn't even.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I didn't even see.
And you know what's crazy?
Dat Piff.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that album is like when I listened to it, I'm like, man, I was nowhere. Like I was still like I wasn't a developed artist, right, or a rapper. Anywhere I go, bro, like when I was in prison, when I go to anywhere in the country that I go, they're like, oh, the nigga on the baking soda box.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I got my new. I got another new rap nickname, Mr. Baking Soda Box. That's where I got it from because people would see me. I saw Yuck Mouth, and I hadn't seen him in forever because I had brought him. He was the first guy through a show with. I brought him to Fairbanks. He knew some niggas out in Anchorage, and I brought him to Fairbanks. That's right before Joker failed. Joker came to Fairbanks. And then I seen him. I was walking down the street in Portland off 82nd Avenue, and he was outside of a weed shop signing like autographs and shit. And I was like, yuck. He's like, the nigga on the baking soda box. I was like, yeah, man.
That's how funny.
That is.
Yeah.
That's
Mixtape days.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Did you ever make any music with Joker?
No. Oh, actually, I recorded a verse for Joker, and it's funny that you asked me that because me and Joker, we talk regularly once or twice a week or every other week and pick each other's brains. Because when I came up, man, it was him, it was Red, Josh Boots came behind a little later. So, like, those guys were the only guys I knew. I used to watch Joker shit on BET Uncut.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I'm like, yo, these guys are major players, you know? And so you asked that. Joker, when Joker got out, Joker pulled off He pulled off. I've never seen somebody do this shit. So I show up to the studio. I get there. Tay's there. Duck's there. Maldu Manny's there. Boots is there. He got people in a room at one time, and I know for a fact that some of them people were not fucking with each other. He got like 6 of us or 7 of us in a room. Joker has a record with all of us on it, and he never released it, and guys are going ham. I'm telling you.
For real?
He has a record, I'm telling you, and he's never put it out, I've only heard the record once, and it was like 3 or 4 months after we did it. Because I walked in, and it was a whole bunch of us in there. It was just artists. And I knew that some of the artists did not get along and had issues. And I was just like, man, this ain't even my city. This don't got shit to do with me. So
right now.
this my guy. I'm about to drop this verse and get out. But no, I reached out to Joker. I've been on him really hard for about 4 months, 6 months. I won a record with me, him, Red, and Josh Boots. Those are just guys, like, in my personal opinion, like, they definitely helped pave a way for rap in the culture in Alaska. Sure. So for me, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never heard all of us on one record at one time. I think it would be good. I got a name and an idea and a concept for the record, but Joker told me absolutely not. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. But he gave me a good, valid reason. He said he's in a different. He said he's in a different place in his life, and I respect it. And so, you know, but I'm definitely haven't stopped trying. So then I doubled down. I talked to Slice. Slice was like, yo, come at him like this. Ask him this. So I hollered at him, and I was like, yo, why don't you let me sample one of those records or remake one of those records that on your old records that I saw on BET Uncut. And he was like, let me think about it. Slice hits me up about a week ago. He's like, yo, did you see that? And I'm like, what? But I guess from one of the young artists in town, I don't want to give his name because I know he wants to make his own way, but happens to be Joker's son.
Okay, I know who you're
talking about. Yeah, so he passed the record to his son and Busy Bone's son, I think it was. But that wasn't the record I wanted to sample. I wanted to flip. But I got it. I understood it. That's my guy, man. But I never did a record with him. I definitely trying to, man. And Boots and Red are down. They gave me the...
I'd be trying to get a hold of Boots my damn self. He's a hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah. Oh, difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Extra family man this time around. Man.
Yeah.
He's on his grown man shit.
I don't do anything short of like harass those guys. Like, I'm like, yo, nigga, pick up.
Yeah.
I just text you. I just called you. I Facebook messaged you.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Do you guys songs with Duck?
Yeah, me and Duck just did a record. Me and Duck are closer than people know, man. They don't know about our relationship. They don't know that it's also healthy competition. Like, we both respect one another, man, and we both like each other's music. We got a record that's lights out. It's lights out. This will be the second or third record we done together, because the last time we did a record was on my Whiskey, Weed, and Women album. That record was called Power Jug. So,
Power Jug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whiskey, Weed, and Women.
Yeah, Whiskey, Weed, and Women. The Whiskey, Weed, and Women album.
Yeah, it's got a pretty clean cover.
Yeah.
It's classy. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I like it.
They could be holding out.
I'm underground, man. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. You know what? I'm in my own lane.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh shit, you guaranteed not to crash.
For sure.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you good.
Right.
That goes.
So when you made the premium music video, why'd you choose to put the news segment on there?
I'll tell you a funny story about the record. I was fighting for my life, man. I was looking at 20 or 30 years, and the court of public opinion from the community, from the hip hop community, from my job and my union, like, the odds were against me, and nobody knew what I knew. Nobody knew what my cousin knew or my co-defendants knew, and I made the record out of frustration, right? Because I'd run into people, and some people I'd just tell them, I'd say, you're standing on your soapbox now. I said, but when this shit is all said and done, don't be surprised if I stand on mine. And so I did the record, wasn't gonna put the record on my album because they had just drug out this.
This is before the video shot.
Yeah, wasn't even gonna put the record on my album.
Okay.
And was having a private listening session for my album. I had put it together. So this is the Blacc Polar Bear album. And my second oldest son says, "Where's that one?" And I said, "Which one?" He goes, "The Soapbox one." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not making the album." He goes, "Man, you can't." He goes, "You can't not put that on the album." And I don't know why I listened to it, because he's my fucking knucklehead out of all of my kids. I don't know why I listened to him. I listened to him. I put that record on there. And when I let the people listen, the people that I took their musical opinion,
I
valued their opinion.
They gravitate to that song.
And they said, "Man, keep it on there." And then there's like, one of them was like, "Put the news snippet in the front of it." And I said, "You know what? You're right." I called Raw right away, sent him the link. He did it, and I moved it to the second song in the album because I wanted to address it, and I wanted it to get out of the way. I didn't want it to hold the album captive, right? Okay. I wanted people to listen to the album and see the music that I had written and the music I had co-produced and the artists that I had on it and how I set it up. I wanted them to be into the album. I didn't want them, but I also knew that all publicity is good publicity. So I used my legal situation to my benefit to market my album and to market my image at that particular time.
Yeah, because if you look up Who's You, all this shit gonna fall with it.
And and so hindsight's 2020. I went on a national tour off that album. That album is still getting streams. I'm still cashing checks. I have enough content off that album to where it's allowed me to create new stuff, create new music, and inspire me in different ways. So that particular record, I sent my lawyer the album. I'm like, "Yo, here's the album. You need to listen." Because he kept telling me, he's like, "Yo, you just got to be quiet. We gonna beat this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." So I'm being quiet, and I say, "Hey, man, fuck it. I'm taking a risk. I'm gonna intertwine my legal situation, right, and my music together, and I'm gonna market it, and I'm gonna market it in such a way to where, because that's where my other rap nickname came, Mr. Clickbait.
Yeah, that's right.
I became Clickbait. The troopers, listen, this is real stories, man. This is real shit. The powers that be, had bought up ad space on Facebook. And so if you were in a particular demographic or area, every time you opened your Facebook, you saw that clip, me in those yellows, in the news article. And they ran it. They ran it for like, I want to say 90 days.
What the fuck?
Damn.
So it was constantly in the frontal lobe of people's mind. I would walk in public and people would double take me. "Oh, that's the nigga from the news." That's that's
Mikey, that's you?
Yeah, so like that's where it came from. And so it's a lot of backstories and shit that people don't know, but they was on me tough. They was after me. They bought up ass space. So I had a phone conversation with Voss that lasted like 3 hours, man. I talked to him, we're talking and shit. I'm just like, "Yo," we came up with a bunch of different ideas, and he had given me a really good idea. And then at the last minute, I just nixed the idea and said, "Fuck it, I'm going this route with this shit." My cousins, my niggas from my neighborhood, even rap niggas, they was like, "Yo, you sure?" And then when I did the video, they was like, "Yo, nigga, you're doing way too much."
Yeah, I bet. The video's nice.
Yeah, they're like, "You're doing way too much." Premium is Rick Beal. Soapbox is artistic outlet. Soapbox is where I'm addressing like all my legal issues with me at the front.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it on YouTube.
Premium's on YouTube. Premium's on YouTube. Soapbox is on YouTube. Mr. PFD is on YouTube.
That's another good one too.
Yeah.
Mr. PFD.
Yeah.
I sent him your Spotify last night and like two links. I'm from Fairbanks and another joint with Bishop.
Yeah. That's my guy, man. That's my bro. Shout out to Bishop Slice, man.
Yeah, another legend out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Because I watched
Yeah, yeah,
I watched a couple videos. I didn't even look at the names, and I was like, man, let me see what this fucking shit.
Who is these niggas, man?
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, like I said, different.
I'm not, and over the last handful of years, I've been in situations to where like I had to take a back seat. I had to let everybody else do their thing. It was just in my best interest to just chill, right? And just also, like I said, I was paving a path, and I think I did a pretty decent job being in my own lane.
Now out there in Fairbanks, how many places you guys really got to perform? Just
That's
Marlin?
Well, no, the Marlin had been a staple. The Marlin just recently closed down again, but the Marlin had been a staple. But it was, you know what I would say is this: the Fairbanks hip hop scene has been very, very fortunate that there is a new guard of people. And a demographic of people that are open to the hip hop demographic in the Fairbanks area that are allowing us to do shows at their venues. Because when I grew up and when I was coming up, you didn't have that. You had to find a venue, you had to pay for the venue, you had to put the sound in there, you had to get the DJ,
you had to do everything.
Everything like it's like
we're not doing anything.
Half the time you had to lie. What are you doing? I'm throwing a party.
Yeah. Because you can't.
Yeah, you know, so we have several places now. It's hard to name them all, but the Marlin was one. The Big Eye had been one. There's a new place now called the Cabin.
Marlin, the one with the short roof?
Yeah, that's it.
I like those pictures.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think where the Marlin is. Is that on College?
Yep.
Okay,
Right. It's on College.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
And you like to find the new diamonds in the dirt?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You mean like locally or regionally?
Locally.
There's a guy that nobody knows about, man. They really don't.
Little young nigga that I ain't trying to say his name.
No, his name, he goes by Cloud Boy. And he is an artist that you cannot put in a box, right? And he has his own. He's very capable of rapping and singing and alternative music. Like, he's extremely talented. I did some work with him for my new project. I also did with the. I don't even know if I should say this because I wanted it to be more of a surprise. But I follow Jay Simmons. You know what I mean? Like, I like his work. I like his talent. And I don't judge people based on their sexual preference or nothing like that. But also. I like his music, and every time his presentation is clean, his videos and.
When we talking about this music, it's cool.
Yeah.
So
I fuck with him. I like funny story. I like Fairview Huna.
I fucks with Huna. Yeah.
I reached out to him, and normally I'm a face-to-face guy. Mm-hmm. And I liked the way that he moved when we were all at South by Southwest. I had seen him several times.
Oh.
And so I liked the way that he was moving. So I reached out to him about 2 weeks ago, but I did it through Instagram.
That's the best one too.
And through a third party and through Instagram. And I hit him, and I was like, yo, I'd like to do some work with you. He's like, yeah, I'm charging $200 for the verse. And then my response, I was like, yeah, I said, I definitely respect your talent and your artistry, but I'm not paying. I'm not giving you $200. Yeah, and it isn't to take away anything from him, but I don't. At the same time, I don't know if he knew it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. It ain't nothing. I'm still a fan of him. I like Fairview Tree.
This guy.
He had the same thing go on with the older Fairview guys. When they came home and he didn't know who they were.
Yeah. But they're young too. Them niggas are young, bro. They moving around. They got their own motion. It wasn't nothing serious.
Very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, he was a cool little dude.
Cool. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a face-to-face guy. I'm a watcher. I pay attention, and I like the way that he moved. I also like the way that Ski Team Treasy moved. Like, I watched him,
Ski Team Treasy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was going by another name. Yeah,
okay,
I think I think he had his Ski Team Treasy now, from my understanding.
That's his group. His
Ski
team.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like the way those guys move. Who else? White kid in Fairbanks, Chase. Work ethic. That's one thing that if people ever ask me pertaining to music, work ethic. He has work ethic, and he's over the handful of years he's developed. He's gotten better. He's getting better, and you know what? he sounds him like himself. You know what I mean? Like he don't sound like he's from the South or from the here or from the there. He has an original sound. He's developed, he's developing more, and he got work ethic, and he tries to do a bunch of different shit, shoot his own videos, and just a lot of different things. So I pay attention, man. Now I want to be proper when you say when you refer to someone. But anyways, there's another artist in Anchorage, and that individual, I pay close attention to them as well. And they're pretty good, and they're developing, so they're developing.
Who's your top 5 Alaska artists?
Oh, you said like all time or right now?
All time, period.
Oh, all time.
Fuck, man.
I said 5, so you could pick a couple that are not active anymore, and then a couple that are active. And you have to exclude yourself.
If I exclude myself, I fuck with Duck. The level of what he's been able to accomplish currently right now. Yeah. I fuck with Duck, and also his work ethic.
He's winning. Shout out to Duck.
Yeah, fucks with all Ducks.
Currently active. Slice is another one of the motherfucking artists, man. Like, you got to drag him out of the studio, dog. Like, sometimes I'm like, yo, nigga, I'm burned out, bro. Yeah, I'm burned out. And what it is he's capable of, he has a lot of capabilities, but a lot of people, he hasn't shared all the music and all the stuff yet. So I'll be excited when he finally does that. Josh Boots, just probably the most lyrically, to me, like one of the strongest lyricists that's ever come from here, right?
Yeah.
Just like the strong one. Like, I know when me and Boots are about to get in the.
He's like, what?
Yeah, I'm like,
when me and Boots are about to get in the fucking box, like, I know, like, strap your shit on right now, dog. Like, come with your shit.
Yeah,
you know,
the best you fucking got. You might as well cancel this shit. And go home.
See, now I feel like somebody's gonna be left out, so it's super hard. I have to merge. I gotta merge Joker and Red together because of
these aren't in order or anything.
I'm just merging them together. Names. They have to be in my top 5 because of what they've done as pioneers for the state of Alaska and the hip hop culture. I'd be a liar or a flat out hater if I did not acknowledge them, or if I did. It didn't matter if I hated them motherfuckers, man. I would be an idiot and I would be stupid to not. They've done a lot for myself, right? And others. They knocked down a lot of doors, man. You know what I mean? And people, I still go places like, they know me, they be like, oh, Alaska. They be like, oh, Starbuks. Be like, oh, what's up with the Joker, the bail bondsman? Like, what's up with Alaska Red? I'm like, oh, yeah, them niggas still got motion. I was like, you know, they're still doing things. And then the last guy I have to throw in there, I have to put in there, man, is, and I hate to do this, but I have to be honest. Like, when there was a period of time where hip-hop here, a lot of niggas was in jail. I was in jail. All of UNDB was in jail. Slice was in jail. So a lot of your major players wasn't around. Yeah. But, man, fucking Muldoon, man, he held the hip-hop scene down for, like, a minute, bro. Like, I can't be no liar. Like, I'm like, damn. I was like, who is this nigga, man? Yeah, you know what I mean? Manny. Yeah, he did, sure. Bro. He would be, because there was no real niggas having motion. There was nobody having, like, real motion. Right? And he was having motion, you know what I mean? He was doing shit, and like, cause everything was dying down. Yeah. You know? A lot of people took off the map, bro. They was at the what they call it, at the club. They was at the they was at the club. Yeah. So but
he stepped up. He
did.
Was really consistent. The mixtape, like every 2 months, and just doing shows nonstop.
Yeah, he did.
Flooding.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he left state a couple times. He opened up for Little Scrappy. Did a couple other things. He had some motion.
He did. Because I'm in jail. I'm in prison. I'm listening. These niggas don't even know. Like, I was doing the most in there. Like, I'm in prison. I'm calling in to DJ Reggie Ward and those guys. I had a Jack in there. And they're like, yo, and lights out, how are you on the phone? I was like, hey, nigga, don't worry about that.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, man. It was.
So, since you said that even if you hated them, you could not include them because of their contribution to the hip-hop, well, how do you feel about the Out the Cut situation?
A lot of people don't know the
Were you
backstory.
I know you had a little.
Me and Bay came. Me and Dilla. Dilla and his original crew. They used to come to Fairbanks and fuck with us. Well, we was all teenagers, bro. We were kids. You know what I mean? So like, and I'd also be a liar. Like I'm gonna keep it real, nigga. I'm gonna keep it real. Part of me is disappointed. I'm a man of principles. I stand on principles. And I always tell people, principles aren't principles until they become an inconvenience. And when your principles inconvenience you, are you going to stand on them or are you going to abandon them? And if people abandon their principles so they can be comfortable, that tells you a lot about a person.
Damn, that's deep.
I like that.
That tells you a lot about
And so, with that being said, I'm disappointed at the outcome and the things that came after, right? You know, because we picked a side. You chose it. You had an opportunity to do anything else in the world. You're intelligent. You got resources, right? You picked a side. You stand on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to. And so
you can't switch teams.
You can't switch teams. It's too far in the game, bro. It's too far in the game, bro. Right? It's too far in the game. So, but I'm grateful for the UNDB because me and Bay was breaking bread together. We threw party. We had the Ozone Magazine party. Julia Beverly came, introduced me to Julia Beverly. She's a major player in hip hop and social media. She used to own Ozone Magazine.
Okay.
She broke me and she helped me get into the industry. And I met her through Bay. Bay was like, he called me one day and was like, yo, what you think? And I'm like, I got a pocket full of money. I'm with it, nigga. Let's do it. But I knew this. I knew I needed to educate myself. And Bay kept it real. He said, hey, this how this gonna go. These people gonna be around. And I can't speak for you. Speak for yourself. I said, say less.
Yeah. Speak up. Okay.
And I built relationships with individuals and people that I met through him in the industry. So for me, like, is there disappointment? Of course. Right? But aside from that, as being a human being and being somebody that's involved in the culture and has great opportunity and has a ton of resources, I'm thankful. Sometimes you have to pay for your education. And they paid as well as me. I paid as well.
Yeah, you Pops used to say you get paid for what you know.
Yeah, you know. So
shit.
So yeah, that you know, I mean, because I look back and part of me is like, man, we are on the verge of so much greatness and so much real shit, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
So
Alaska hip hop was very close to being on the forefront.
Yeah.
Breaking the threshold or whatever.
Yeah. The people involved were making enough money and funneling it into their rap careers that it was really very
and close. It was at a point to where like motherfuckers had real resources to the industry to where like you could live off the industry. Right.
You can make a living out of this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but that's just life, though.
So what's up with the showdown shit?
Let me start.
You got beef with them?
I don't have beef, but what I don't appreciate is benefiting from a culture that doesn't belong to you, and you boxing other people out and not allowing them to benefit from it, right? And then
they pick and choosing their favorites?
No, I don't give a fuck about that because they can't do nothing for me I can't do for myself, right? But here was the thing with them. You could call, no call, leave a message, no call back. You could text, no text back. You could email, no email back. Then you try, Willowa and Showdown are separate entities. But they had they had a guard dog at Willowa, and I forgot her name. And she quite frankly, don't like hip hop, didn't like niggas, and it's safe to say that. And I'm not saying anything that's not been founded or proven.
That's not known.
Now let me
tell you what's known.
Let me make it clear. Now this was the guard dog, the lady that worked at Willowa, who was head like the manager for booking shows, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And once again, Showdown and Willowa are separate entities. So long story short, a lot of hip hop artists have been feeling the way that they were treated by Showdown. And I had felt the same way. But a lot of the other artists aren't in the position that I'm in, right? So they're feeling like to say anything.
Yeah, like
right?
Yeah.
And so I reached out to them. They did not get back to me.
Of course.
The emails were read. Then when I got to the venue, my DJ told me, don't do what I know that you're going to do. I said, you know what? You're right. I won't. I showed up to the DJ, showed up to the event early. Vic Mensa was the show. I just came off tour, just got off a national tour. Vic Mensa's the show. I show up early to the venue. The staff says, set your merch up over there. I said, okay. I set my merch where they told me to sit it. The manager comes in. Whose shit is this? And she doesn't see me. I don't even think she really knew who I was.
Yeah. And
someone says, oh, it's an artist. She says, get this shit out of here. No, he says Starbuks. She's like, oh, I hate him. And did. First off, I don't even know her. So that pissed me off. I'm like, oh, that's the bitch I've been emailing, right? Won't talk to me.
Probably.
Won't say a word to me. Now I know why, right? But so then it put in my brain, I was like, I'm going to do this shit. So my set comes up, and I got this whole shit on video. This is shit I could give. If you want to use this shit for the episode so you can see, people can see my side of the story, because I've never said shit. I've never done what I could have done. So at the end of my set, I addressed it. I rocked the show. It's a sold-out show. I got all the fans involved. The whole shit is jumping. It's all on video footage. At the end of my set, I said, there's something that I need to say. And I just told them, like, I never used a cuss word. I never belittled anyone. I said, hey, when, this culture belongs to us. It doesn't belong to you. Treat people with decency. When people call you, call back. When they email you, email back. When they text message you, text back. You know what I mean? And and when people talk to you, look at them.
Yeah.
Don't treat them in a manner of as if they're beneath you, right? And so that's how I spoke. That's not verbatim, but that's pretty much
that's the message.
That's the message. And I got the footage, I got the audio and everything.
It's all on video.
I got it all, bro. I have it all. Rick, media guy went back and put the text up there, the caption up there, so you could hear. And you know what? And the crowd lit up. Here's my thing with Showdown. So they got mad when I came off stage. Ray, the co-owner of Showdown, comes from behind the sound booth. And at this particular time, acted like a straight bitch. Get this motherfucker out of here. Get out of here. And he acted like a punk. And I almost had a nigga moment. I stayed cool.
Oh, no.
Then Helen addressed me. And I told her to her face. I never cussed. I never called her out her name. You could ask anybody that was standing around, and you could ask her. I said, the way that you guys treat people and the way that they were talking to me, I was like, you know what you are? I was like, you guys are fucking culture vultures. I said, this culture doesn't belong to you at all. And the way that you're treating people and the way that you're benefited from it, you know what I mean? Because I said, when Cameron didn't show up, I said, the local hip hop community showed up and sold this place out. When such and such didn't show up, they leaned on local hip hop acts, and we sold this place out and showed it out. And I said, so that's showing you. And what a lot of rap niggas didn't know was they be paying them local EDM DJs to that be opening up for the other EDM DJs. They don't pay no rap niggas.
Shut up.
No. They don't pay rappers.
Or their DJs.
And so what I will have to admit is I have enough respect for Helen because she was willing to talk to me. She not only spoke to me there, but we agreed. We both had a lot of shit going on. And we was like, yo, we going to have this phone meeting. We have a phone thing. Yeah. And she called me and we spoke and we talked for about an hour. And what I realized during that conversation is they mean well, right? But she didn't realize that they were being culture vultures because I was like, look, I got an artist who was willing to give me a good deal to come, and I said I want to bring him to Showdown. It'll be a coffee house entertainment thing. I want to bring him to Willowa. It'll be a coffee house entertainment thing. It'll be an independent thing. I have all of the resources. I have everything that I need to be able to use the venue. And she said, well, the lights are ours. I said, well, we don't need the lights. I'll use AUP and get my own lights, my own lights set up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then she came back with me and she was like, well, why don't you just do it through Showdown? Why do I need to do shit through you? This is my culture. I got my own money. I got my own motherfucking, I got my own promoter's license and motherfucking bonded and insured. I don't need you, bitch. I've been throwing shows and parties all over this country. I don't need y'all. I don't want y'all. Here's where I learned business. I made a mistake. I told her who the artist was. The artist happened to be Conway Machine. She tells me she'll get back to me. Don't hear from her. Then their little music festival comes up. And guess who they have on the bill?
Yeah,
Conway the Machine. Box me out. That's culture vulture. Won't let me make no money off my culture, with my culture, or for my culture. Box me out so you can make the money. And it's a well-known fact. They just sat down with it. They just talked. I know for a fact that they just talked to a well-known artist from here, and it's like, well, all right, we'll fuck with you like that for a show. That was just over the last handful of days and weeks, you know? And so that's my thing with them, man. I don't hate them people. They can't stop my motion. What they gonna do? Put me on stage at Willowa? Bitch, I rock Willowa before Showdown ever threw a show there.
Before Showdown
and when I rocked it and me and Slice rocked it, we got paid.
Yeah.
You feel me? We got paid to do it. So Showdown never done shit for me. And to be quite frank, Showdown never done shit for the culture. It was motherfuckers like Red. It was motherfuckers like Joker. There's motherfuckers like Bay and UNDB that was throwing these shows. Motherfuckers like Starbuks, Coffee House Entertainment. Yeah. Before, bitch, you was still in a club. We were throwing shows and buying out bottles at the fucking club afterwards. We paved the way for this culture. This our culture. It don't belong to you. You know?
I can see
but
why you feel
at the end of the day,
yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I don't hate them. I stay quiet about a lot of shit. I respect what they doing. If the young niggas feel, if the young artists feel like that's a platform that they want to utilize and need to utilize, then go ahead and do it. I'm not going to knock you. But they never made Starbucks. I'm finna go on tour again. My shit is, I'm still streaming, bitch. I'm still getting shows. I'm still being paid for shows. And make sure you put this clip in there. Every show I ever done for Showdown, been in Showdown, I got all the video footage, all the pictures. Every time I was on the bill, I rocked it, shut it down, had the best crowd participation, had the largest crowd other than the main act. Every motherfucking time.
That's crazy.
Every time.
And don't want to give a nigga no chippers.
Yeah, but boxing niggas, okay,
yeah.
All right, I understand. I'm a little rough around the edges. I come from a different walk of life from you.
Shit.
You probably don't relate to me, but you ask anyone who has ever broke bread with me that I've done business with, they're going to tell you, yo, dude's on time, he pays, he conducts himself in a professional manner. I've never had any issues. Ain't never one Starbucks show had a shooting or a fight. And if they want me to provide a resume, not only can I provide you a resume, but here's one thing I've been very, very proud of that I've done over the last 20 years. I visually documented almost everything.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
I got what happened. I got it on video.
On the video. I'm talking about back to like the small VHS tapes to the disses. Nigga, I got it all, bro.
Yeah.
I got it all.
Crazy.
You know, but that's some other shit. Like I'm working on, you know, a mini doc and a bunch of shit, man. But that shit, I didn't realize how long that takes. That takes a long time.
Takes a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest thing that hurts the hip hop culture in Fairbanks?
There's not more artists, because one thing I will say about my city and where I'm from, man, I'm proud of it because of the camaraderie. And I'm proud of it because it's not only camaraderie between artists and supporting one another, it's camaraderie in the community. They show up, the fans show up, the people show up, and the people that own these venues or that are running these venues are allowing us to perform. They're not boxing us out.
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort. They're not boxing us out. They're asking us, how can we help you? How can we make this better?
How can we push it?
How can we push this? As a whole, the Fairbanks hip hop scene, I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of it from the top to the bottom, everybody involved in it. And it makes me feel good, man. it makes me feel good that I can throw a local show with just local acts and know that it's going to sell out, and it sells out, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope and wish for that the rest of the culture here in the state can be like that. I feel that's what's hampered the Anchorage area, which is the larger city, is previously, I won't say currently because I don't very well know the state currently, but previously there wasn't a lot of working together. There was a lot of people at odds. And so I hope that for Anchorage, I hope that we can continue to have a pipeline, a conduit from Fairbanks to Anchorage to Juneau and to everywhere else. And people be willing to work together. You're not going to like everybody. That's life. There's motherfuckers I work with, I'm like, man, I want to slap the piss out this motherfucker. I want to sock this, but at the end of the day, if we know that the goal is greater good, then that's the direction we're moving in.
I think I knew of you for like 10 years, and then the first time I met you was outside of Al's bar for like a pre-party or after-party for the show, and that was in right after me and Manny's beef shit had jumped off, and you were like, hey man, I didn't think you were gonna show up.
And I said, I respect that.
You were there, huh?
I admired that because to me, right, showing up is more than half the battle. That's half the battle, right? And what I admired about it is this: when you see Starbuks, no matter who he got an issue with or got beef with, I go, I support people. I'm there. I'm never moving with 100 niggas. I'm never the loudest nigga in the room. I'm not walking around with pistols. I'm not doing dumb shit. I'm not fucking up the culture for other niggas and opportunities for other niggas. But I show up. And so when I seen him, he was by himself. And he was there. You got some niggas now, boy, them niggas won't show up to nothing. If they got they got an issue with somebody, like, yeah, I'm not going over there, but he showed up. He showed up, and that spoke volumes to me.
I never forgot it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I made sure, and nobody was standing around. I pulled him aside by himself.
You were outside. I wasn't even inside yet.
Yep. And I said, hey, man. I said, I didn't think you was going to show up. You showed up. I said, I respect that. Yeah. A lot of niggas don't show up, man.
It was hot back then, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. I'm not gonna act like it wasn't, but
yeah. Good times though, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what's your favorite place to perform in Alaska?
Ooh, man, that's hard. You know what it is, man? I'm going to have to go, man, and I don't want to seem biased, but it's the Marlin. It's because the intimate connection, right? And they're like right up on you.
Yeah.
Right?
They're
like right up on you.
It gives you that 8 mile.
Yeah, like we in here.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like we're in here. Everybody's in here. We're packed in this.
With the low ceilings, you feel the energy.
Yeah, it feels packed in.
Fucking smells a little funny.
Yeah.
Like, we in this bitch though. We're in here.
It's a grip of motherfuckers in
here. Yeah. So it's always a good time, and I always feel the energy.
And motherfuckers know the words to the songs, huh?
That's the shit that trips me out.
So that shit accurate.
Out there, huh?
Well, I'm finna say something that's been very controversial for about 6 or 7 years now. So Duck we were up for Video of the Year, Song of the Year, and he was up for Drill, and we were up for I'm from Fairbanks.
Okay.
And we won all the awards for I'm from Fairbanks, the Video of the Year, Song of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. Max, what's his name again? Max Mills. So after the after parties at Al's, Max takes the fucking microphone and says, yada, 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 Duck's song should have been Song of the Year. He should have won the awards. Damn, I'm a Fairbanks nigga, man.
With the Kanye,
and I'm in here like by myself at the time.
And y'all won the awards.
Yeah, and we won the awards. And I took the fucking microphone from him. You could ask everybody. Ask that people were there. And I was like, yo, my nigga, like, we won. If you look back, even 6 years, 7 years, we come to Anchorage. I can show you through my phone right now, my nigga. Anchorage singing that song back to us, bro. Still presently. And I hate to perform the song because we just done it so many times. But here's the thing. The song was so influential on the culture here, right? I got emails and text messages and Facebook messages about people from here in other areas listening to that song and having a connection with it and making it, man, I listen to this to make me feel back at home. People don't know about that record unless you really from where we from and you really part of the fabric of the community and the streets. So the people that we name and the places that we name, it related to people. It touched people that really knew the backstories of these individuals that we named and these places that we named. Yeah. And then when you get to the hook is all of the stereotypes about Fairbanks. Mm-hmm. All these stereotypes about Fairbanks, we took it and we implemented it into a record. So, long story short, Drill was a great record. But if people are still playing I'm From Fairbanks right now.
Drill is a good record.
Drill is a good record.
Hey, if that, see, because I didn't know nothing about that, and Duck was on here.
Yeah, so, that's my guy, man. Shout out to Duck, man.
I don't know none of these niggas until this nigga be like, hey, now then I go look, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh. And I heard that shit when I was locked up at night in jail.
Yeah,
and I was like, the bitch, I'm from Fairbanks. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I couldn't even picture.
Yeah.
Bro, the last time that I touched the stage at Willowa, we did that song at the very end, and the place went crazy. And we're in hard. Anchorage, and people from Anchorage are rapping the song back to us. And people can say whatever they want, but this is the day and age of social media and video footage. Yeah. It's clear as day, dog.
See, and I lived in Fairbanks for a little bit. That's another thing. I'll be like, man, what's this?
Yeah.
I didn't know him. I knew what you call your uncle, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, the motherfucking man, that's just crazy.
I don't prep him with a bunch of music. I gave him some last night, and I let him.
He's a personality.
Yeah, and he's a new set of ears that if I can make him a fan, I can make anybody a fan.
Yeah.
So when we're all done here and everyone goes home, in the next week or so, he's gonna run through everything you fucking got on the internet.
That's what I do. Everything.
Yeah.
And if it's
you gonna be like, damn, cuz got a body of work. Like I got albums, I got mixtapes. You know what I mean?
That's
like
crazy. And I mean,
I got shit I wrote for other niggas that niggas don't know about.
A little off topic, but did you guys see that Ice Spice got a Chia Pet?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get one of those.
Those are vintage.
Huh?
But it's Ice Spice, so I mean it's
Ice Spice Chia Pet.
Yeah. I think
I would only buy it if it was on her ass and you brought the ass and it got big.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but no, that's pretty nifty. That's cool. She definitely has she got a look. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Lloyd Banks also recently came out and said he's going to sell his Third Corner 3 mixtape for $100 and go the Nipsey Hussle route. How do you feel about that? Do you think he's going to get the same response
he's
back?
Do what?
Lloyd Banks says for $100 he'll sell you his new mixtape.
$100 for a mixtape?
Nipsey Hussle did it back a while ago with Crenshaw.
I got a pair of shoes on.
That was a mixtape.
Yeah, but
so
I believe it was free online. But he said if you want it's only 1,000 hard copies or a really low number. Jay-Z pulled up and spent like $10,000 or something like that.
Bought like what 100 of them or 100 of them or something like that.
Majority of them.
Yeah. Because he admired it. What it's called a scarcity tactic, for one, right?
Yeah.
Because you only have a limited number, like Jordans, when Jordan come out.
Yeah.
So I got a pair of Jordans on right now that are $200. Music is an art form. If you like art, I've known people to pay millions of dollars for a fucking picture that sits on the wall. Yeah. It don't rap to you. It don't say shit. It don't make you... And I'm an art fan. I got art all around my house from local and regional artists from the state of Alaska, but it's art.
It's art.
If you're a fan of Lloyd Banks or you're a fan of music, you're going to spend $100. Just like I spend money on shoes and spend money on art. Like if you're, because somebody else, my baby's mom brought up the whole when Kanye came out with the other Donda album on that specific thing. She goes, "You're probably going to go fucking buy that." I said, "Yeah, it's art." I said, "Would you make fun of me if I was a millionaire, a billionaire?" And I bought a fucking Picasso picture, you'd be like, "No, you just bought a wonderful piece of art."
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. And more power to him. And we need to get back to more Man, some of those guys is skilled, man. He's a skilled rap artist. He's a skilled rapper, man. He's fucking skilled. You know what I mean? So,
do you think an Alaska artist can make enough money off their music to not leave?
Good question.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Here's why. No, because of the day and age it is, right? I'll give you an example. Slim Thug out of Texas was platinum, multi-platinum, and a millionaire, and he had never been outside of the state of Texas. It's essentially like his music, in a sense. He sold tons of albums and tons of stuff there because there were physical copies.
Right.
Physical copies. In order for an Alaska artist to accomplish that, the opportunities are slim now. You need endorsements. You need merchandise. Then you got to do numbers. I'm a numbers guy, right? Yeah. How many people are in the state of Alaska? And then how many people in the state of Alaska are hip-hop fans and into your shit? And then even if you can brand something, create merchandise that everyone is into, i.e., for example, like Nike. Don't matter if you're black, white, yellow, everyone wears Nike. Nobody's afraid to wear it. Yeah. You can make an abundance of money, but in order to do the endorsements, you got to tap into the oil corporations, the native corporations, the bigger businesses here.
The niggas who control the shit.
Yeah, big money, oil money, order. You got to become so marketable, right, that they're willing to give you $1 million. They're willing to give you $500,000. They're willing to give you $250,000. They're willing to let you bust jugs for $50,000, right? That's where music has come to now. Cause man, my shit be getting streamed, man. I don't know who getting my money, cause all my paperwork right.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting my money. I'm like, damn, man, this is like not even a penny on the dollar. So music is different, and that's what I explained to my son. My son's like, yo, who was this nigga? I was like, yo, listen, man, he was selling 5 million copies every time he dropped, 3 million copies every time he dropped. Yeah, and I said, yo, that's physical copies. It's not streams, my man. That's physical copies. So there's money in that. And I'm like, yo, man, a lot of these old rappers that you call old, that's why they control the game, control a lot of opportunity in the game now, or they sitting fat, they out of the game, and they've branched off into different type of businesses. Yeah. Because they was selling physical copies, nigga. Like they might have been getting jugged a little bit or fucked over, but they was still selling physical copies and getting a large chunk.
Yeah.
You know?
A way bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Who's your top 5 Fairbanks artists without including yourself?
Red, Slice, Jesus, man, that's tough. There's only a handful of us, man.
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
No, it's three more. You said Slice.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I hold my city to a higher standard.
You don't know Tony Taylor?
I do know Tony Taylor. He's a good friend, man. He's a good man.
He does a lot. He's like a DJ too.
Yeah, he wears many hats. But there was a I'm only going to touch on this. At one time, he wore a specific hat, and I needed it. He reached out to me as a human being and as a man and checked on me when I was at a low point in my life. So I'm very thankful for him. I have no ill will towards that man. I'm a street nigga, man. Like, I'm rough around the edges, man, but, like, he makes more pop music, and he's more of a acceptable figure, right? Less imposing figure. And so he has a lot of people are willing to work with him and do things with him.
Oh,
so
he's got the Tarantino look.
Yeah, but the difference.
What was the word we used?
Yeah, the
kick push.
Yeah, but the thing with but another thing that I would say with him is I had to explain this to somebody. Said, for one, Tony Taylor is not from Alaska, and Tony Taylor is not from Fairbanks. But the amount of work that he puts in and gives back to the actual community is undeniable. He even works with kids. So for me, some people aren't as mentally mature or emotionally mature or secure in their masculinity as I am. So, like, some niggas like, he ain't from here. I'm like, look, my nigga, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? For one, he's not only helping open doors for the culture, right? He's also putting back into the community. So shout out to Tony Taylor for that. I didn't want to leave. You said from Fairbanks, so I wanted to be specific.
Why, you did. Okay.
I wanted to be specific. So shout out to him. A lot of love and respect for him. Good dude, and he's good for the culture. So,
how come you ain't never go on tour with Red in Alaska?
You know why? I'll just be completely honest. So Red put out his last album, Ogar, OG Alaska Red, right? And I brought him to my radio station and I interviewed him. But when I brought him, I was strategic. I didn't have anyone there. Me and Red have never had an issue with one another directly. Matter of fact, when I was a kid and I was in the streets, Red would be in the hood and he would running around with 50 below. Right, so these is backstories people don't know, right?
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm in the streets, right? I'm being a knucklehead. I'm out here, right? Red used to be like, Mikey, man, why don't you come rap? I'd be like, nigga, I'm not rapping nothing. I'm getting money, fool. I used to laugh, but he used to always reach out to me. And he was running with some older fellas from my neighborhood, some niggas from the neighborhood and some niggas from California, different things. Well, long story short, when I came back home, Red was the man, bro. When I came back from college, Red was the man. He had put the work in. He was basically the little homie that became the big homie. You know what I mean? And me coming back and being young and having these ideas and also being my own boss, I'm my own boss. You know what I mean? Like, I don't work for nobody or nothing like that, but it was never a thing like that. It was what it was initially, it was we're competitors. We're competing. We're in a small market. We're in the same city. You feel me? And Red been here, plugging away. I come back, I got these resources, I got all this energy and shit, and then I come from a different side of town from him. He's from the west side, I'm from the south side. Oh. So we from different sides of town, and we ran with different crews and people. So there was a lot of that, but really what it was is at a young age, it was ignorance and foolish pride. But when I brought him in to do the interview, we sat and talked as men. Off air, on air. And I also let him know as a man, like I appreciated what he done for the culture, and I wanted to work with him in the future, and that was that. I learned a lot from him. I'd be a liar to just be like, nah, I didn't learn shit from him. I didn't see him making moves or having motion. So it was
would not make it out.
I had said things in my music to where some people caught it, most people didn't. Some people caught it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he caught it, but at the end of the day, initially, it was, like I said, it was this immaturity, foolish pride, and just also being competitive, and wanting to see. But I think it's something that we should do in the near future. He's got an abundance of resources here. I got an abundance of resources, in the States and up and down the I-5. And I think if we collectively put our heads together,
you can get a little further.
We can get a little further, but we're both at a point in our hip hop and rap careers in this particular community or in this culture here that we're more focused on being conduits and bridges for other artists and younger artists. You know what I mean? And so I think if we work together and we put a tour together, man, I think that we should do it and highlight other artists that we feel like are prepared and ready and put the work ethic in and, can be presentable. Without a doubt, we could put together a very successful tour, without a doubt.
Yeah. Alaska Red puts in a lot of work.
Oh, man, he's a grinder, bro. He's a grinder.
Can't deny his work ethic.
No, not at all.
So, another thing I want to talk about is what's his deal with Tubby? Your deal with Tubby?
People keep this, man, I heard Tubby wasn't fucking with you no more. Nah, I'm not fucking with him.
Oh, this is a human.
Yeah.
When he was like, so what's up with Showdown? I'm like, yeah, who this nigga?
No, they're an entity. And they're a business entity.
Yeah, being some motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is an actual.
So these are
he's another artist.
Yeah, he's another artist and he's another person. So I'll start from the beginning. I came home. When I had left home, Tubby was doing music. Red and Tubby were like the first two guys like really, really trying. Right?
Okay,
Other than the old heads that was above Red, Tubby and Red were the only ones really, really trying. Initially, Tubby was not accepted by the rap and hip hop community. right? People laughed at him. He was a joke, right?
Okay.
This is real. This is a real story. This is the real truth. He wasn't quite accepted in the culture. He dyed his hair, wore weird contacts, was all over the place. Skateboarded, looked like Eminem, wanted to be like Wu-Tang, was all over the place. And quite frank, wasn't a very good rapper, right?
Okay.
But when I came back home, I was in a transition phase. I was trying to get out of the streets, right? I made all of my bones in music, passing out flyers, shaking hands at shows, right? Talking to people.
Footwork,
the footwork, like no MySpace, no none of that shit.
Yeah,
before all
right?
You better get out there.
Yeah, so I came home, and when I came home, he was like, yo, I ended up leaking with him through some Big Tim, rest his soul, man, my big homie and a producer, Tubby's big homie and producer. And he's like, y'all need to fuck with each other. I'm like, man, I'm from the side, my nigga. Like, we don't fuck with them niggas like that. You know what I mean? And to me, he's a goofy. Right? Well, Tim gets us in the studio together because I'm digging through records with Tim, and Tim's teaching me about, all the knobs and shit. I'm educating myself at this point. Because at this point, I know that I'm trying to take music to the next level, and I need to educate myself.
Yeah.
So I'm working with anybody that can bring me any type of knowledge, right? So long story short, me and Tubby smoke some weed, and we sit and talk. And I'm like, man, dude's an intellectual like me. And I was like, he's super smart, but we both had something that the other one needed. He knew how to use social media and market yourself on social media.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had the credibility that he didn't have.
Yeah.
Right? I had credibility that he didn't have. He couldn't go where I went. He didn't know the people that I knew. Mm-hmm. The people that I knew wouldn't accept him with open arms. So that's what happened. When I teamed up with him, he's like, yo, man, like, you know what YouTube is? I was like, nah, nigga, I don't. YouTube. I'm in the streets, nigga. I'm not using YouTube. He's like, yo, you know what? He put me on the face. Like, you know what Facebook is? I was like, I don't even got a Facebook. He's like, what about Twitter? Man. He's like, what about a Twitter? He's like, have you heard of Twitter? I'm like, yo, my nigga, I don't know none of that shit. So if you go back and you look, Tubby on YouTube has a channel called Hellraiser TV. Mm-hmm. We were doing webisodes before webisodes were a thing. Go back and look. This dating back 06, 05, 06, 07. Go look. I took him everywhere with me. I took him to Oregon. I took him to Washington. I brought him to Anchorage. I introduced him to UNDB and the Raw Beatses and the Duckmans. I helped him. Let me make sure I say that right. I helped him become the Tubby that he's become today, just like he helped me become the Starbuks that I become today. People are like, yo, man, when you have content, you know how to market your shit and push your shit and like tease your shit. I learned that from him, dog. Like I was able to get to those skills through him. Yeah. Right? I'm a street nigga. I'm like, yo, don't put that on the internet.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Keep that
out there.
But these webisodes were so fucking funny. I'm walking around Fairbanks. I haven't been home in forever, and like I'm a fucking ghost, bro. People are like, oh, hey, Starbuks. Ah, man, I'm from the YouTube videos.
Yeah, from the
Hellraiser TV, bro. So and all these other guys would tell you, I helped him become who the Tubby that he is today in the sense of being accepted, right? Because he was not accepted. And this is not a lie. This is facts. And I haven't said nothing negative about the man. And then to me, he helped me. He gave me, he knew, I was able to learn how to take all the contacts and all the people that I had met. I always tell people this. It's not about how many people you have in your social media. It's about who you have in your social media. I got some strong motherfuckers in my social media, but that started from the groundwork, the shaking hands, the meeting you, the this and that. And so me pulling into them. So he taught me how to use social media as a tool. I weaponized it and made it, and I molded it into what it is now, right? For myself. Yeah. Right?
Made it the tool that you needed.
The tool that I needed it to be.
Yeah.
So he, in that aspect, that's how he helped me. He said some on his podcast. He said that I called him a culture vulture. I don't think that Tubby is a culture vulture. Tubby is not someone that is a part of the culture that is financially benefited from it and not putting back into it. This is what happened. And I got the receipts for that. This is what happened. The George Floyd incident took place. At the same time, I'm dealing with my legal issue. Tubby and me encountered these dirty cops in 06, 07. So Tubby knows this story. He knows about these dirty cops. Well, one of the cops was in a forum or in a blog talking about basically justifying why, what happened to George Floyd. What Tubby did was he sends me the screenshot in my messages. And my reply back to him, because I could read this shit verbatim right out of my phone. I kept it. But my reply back with him was, yo, man, I know why you sent this to me. I said, I'm disappointed in you. I said, you sent this to me because you don't have the courage to post this on your platform.
Yeah.
You don't have the courage to post this on your platform. And you came to the guy that has no fear. And I said, man.
You knew it was going to work.
And I said, man, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed in you. And I said, anything that's happening to my culture, I said, I feel for it. It affects me. And I'm going to be one of the people that tries to do something to change the shit that's going on in this country. And I said, so I just felt like it was a blow tactic. And he was like, he replied back, man, like I wasn't coming for you. You didn't have to come for me. And I was like, no, man, you knew what you were doing. And I said, anytime, okay, and go back, history will show you. Anytime that anyone in our culture, in rap or in hip hop, because Tubby does podcasts, Tubby does all this other shit, anytime a nigga make a mistake, right, or do something silly, or have a come on nigga moment, he highlights it. He pokes fun at it. He has it, you know what I mean? Like, which we all do. He ain't the only person. This time I wanted him, this is unfamiliar territory. It's uncomfortable, motherfucker, to have these conversations. And right now you need to have it. You want to know why you need to have it? Because the hip-hop platform, the culture accepted you, embraced you, and helped you build a platform. It is your responsibility to shed light on this shit. And he did it, and he wouldn't. And this is what I told him. I said, Tubby, man, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. And I said, hey, the next time you're in town, we should grab a bite to eat or have a drink and have open dialogue. And I said, if you don't holler at me, then we know what it really is. So that's what happened. I got the, like they be doing on the no jumper shit. I got the whole motherfucking inbox. I got the whole shit.
You be mentioning some stuff, and I remember some old posts of yours flashed through my brain. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
talk about some of these things.
So what happened was, he waited a handful of days. I think he thought I was gonna out him. Tubby's my friend, man. I brought Tubby into my home. I brought Tubby around my children, right? I'm a very private person and human being. Not only did I bring him into my home, I brought him into my fold. I helped him build relationships, business relationships with people that meant something to me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't bring everybody to do business with people or introduce them because they might fuck up the relationship for you.
Yeah.
Right? So I never wanted to lay a finger on the man, never wanted to hurt the man, never really publicly said anything until now, right? But some people know, some don't. Handful of months ago, he had a podcast, and it was his 100th episode. Here's what people don't know. I was part of his first episode. I was on episode number 1.
He's been doing it for a while.
I was on episode number 1, right?
He'll put an album on in the background, and you just hang out, and whatever happens. So, his 100th episode, he said some things on that pertaining to our situation that were not factual. And that frustrated me. It pissed me off a little bit. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe that's how he feel, or that's his version, his perception. Or you know what? Sometimes you put people in front of a microphone, and I felt like people say things to save face, right? They don't want to say what the real issue is. I never called him a culture vulture because that's not what he is. I called Showdown and Helen a culture vulture, and you know what I did it to? I did it to their face. I didn't do it through a social media post or through the next nigga or the next person, So I got love for him, I think. But in this particular situation, I think somebody had told him, oh, well, Starbuks said he wanted to talk to you. Y'all could do it on the podcast.
I never said that. That never came out of my mouth. You know what I mean? I just said I would like to sit and have a conversation with him, an open dialogue. You know what I mean? But I think he thought I was going to out him after the inboxes. I didn't out him.
Because he know what he said.
He know what he said, and then 3 or 4 days later, he began to use his platform for the greater good. And when I messaged him back, I said, "Thank you, I appreciate you." And when I dropped Black Polar Bear, I gave him an invite to come to the listening party, right? Yep. So I don't have no ill will towards him, and even the podcast from a few months ago, like, my nigga, come holler at me, man. We broke bread together, nigga. Like, he conceived his first daughter in my house, in my room, while I took my family on a trip. He wanted to go to Oregon, so I'm like, yo, the house is yours, bro. I was like, if you fuck in my bed, wash my sheets, man.
Nigga made a better here,
bro. I gave her a nickname, Tubbalina, like that. You know what I mean? Like, for real, like it ain't. I don't have no funk with him. I got funk with niggas, man. I got real funk. Yeah, like real funk where nigga, like, I know I probably better have a yammy on me.
Yeah, huh?
You know what I mean? Like, cause these niggas know I crack melons, so they're not trying to shoot me too many fades. That ain't happening. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're not trying to run a fade, bro. They're not. So I already know. I'm like, nah. He seen what I did to the homie, so he ain't finna even go down that route.
Damn, hell no.
Yeah, but no, I got love for the guy, man. I wish him well, and what I do wish the most is that sometime in the near future, my days as a free man are numbered. I would hate to go to prison and us not be able to have communicated and solved such a minor issue. We're both men of pride. We're both men of pride, and sometimes pride can be the fool, right? And we got to get to a point. I'm not just going to say him, but we got to get to a point of maturity and being secure in our masculinity to have an open conversation. That's it.
That's wow.
Yeah, gas, bro. Gas.
That's all, man. I don't hate the guy, man, at all. I poke fun at him, shit. He talk shit to me, poke fun at me, like, because we're funny niggas, man. Like, we shoot jokes, we talk shit.
We kick
we kick it. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't nothing major.
I felt like there was a long time in the hip hop community where people weren't grown enough to set their small differences aside and for the greater good.
Yeah, I seen it. And sometimes I'd be like, and a couple times I seen it, I was like, yeah, well, that ain't my city. You know what I mean? Or like that ain't my place. You know what I mean? Like I told you when Joker had all those niggas in there, bro, I was like, man, he's tripping, bro.
Yo, I'd pay money to see that.
It was definitely legendary. It was one of those moments to where you're like, this isn't gonna happen. Because you can see when people were showing up, they were like, what's that nigga doing here? And the energy in the room
would shift.
It did shift.
With
and
every
then
person that would come.
Yeah. And then he came in because people got there before him. And then he came in, if I remember correctly, but he came in, and after that, it was all business. Guys were getting in the booth and getting after it, dog. Like,
I bet.
Guys were getting after it. Guys were getting after it, dog.
And then I probably, seeing all them niggas, seeing that nigga walking, be like, all right, yeah, I'm about to. Because
he's the OG, like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't tripping off nobody. He's basically like, I brought all y'all here. That's what I'm trying to accomplish.
For this.
Yep.
Did you get to hear Cash Life and
oh yeah,
he just dropped a new video.
Yeah,
but what I'm talking about is the beef record, the diss records that
the diss stuff.
Yeah, man, because I thought it was I like Cash Life. I got a couple records with Cash Life, and we shot a video, and the video never came out because the guy who shot the video, wife took all of his stuff. Long story short, video never came out. I asked him, he'll tell you right now, true story, real shit. I said, hey man, I want to do a record with you. He said, let's do a record. We did a record. I said, hey, I'm gonna bring you out to Fairbanks. I'm gonna take care of you. And he said, you sure? He brought his cousin with him. I said, come on. Came out to Fairbanks, kept him for a couple days, shot the video and shit. So I fuck with Cash Life. I thought it was, part of it was healthy, right? Part of it was healthy. I think because hip-hop is a sport. But anytime that you can get people from Alaska interested in the hip-hop culture, and that's all that they're talking about, and it's not negative in the sense of somebody being murdered or somebody being beat up or somebody being telling on people.
Yeah.
I think that's great, right? Because I never want to be I think the hip hop is competitive, is healthy. Sometimes you gotta let a nigga know where his place is, right? Or you gotta see if you can take the next nigga place. That's just how it is.
That good,
yeah,
nigga.
but nigga, like, or you ain't finna just talk bad about me. So I thought it was good. I thought that some of the shit the other fella was doing with the social media, yeah, with the social media shit. With that, he was kind of like, to me, he was kind of like on that. What's the nigga with the rainbow hair? Tekashi. He was on some. He was like a Tekashi fan.
Internet clout thing.
Yeah, we talking about when he was with there was had issue with the Puerto Rican cat, right, or Dominican, whatever he is.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Lucci.
Yeah, Lucci. Yeah, so I thought it was healthy. I listened to that shit. I was laughing.
Do you feel like a rap beef disc could be over, like a one and done from each artist?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing: one of the artists got to give the KO. Man,
you gotta be.
Nigga, done. Listen, I don't like talking about it, but it put rappers on notice. When I put out Casket Sharp, that was a one and done. I probably shouldn't say nothing back to that nigga. Iced him, made him change his rap name, and I hate to talk about it because here's the thing. Here's what I believe in. I never want to be a part of anything that tears another black man down or destroys another minority or destroys another man. I don't want to be a part of nothing that's going to tear you down. I might not fuck with you, but I'm not going to say.
I don't want to break you down.
Yeah, I'm cool. And what happened with that particular record, so if you go back and you listen to the beginning of Black Polar Bear, I say they want another Casket Sharp. I'm past that part, right? I don't want to be a part of that. I'm a man. Like, that hurt me to see the backlash, right, that came towards essentially partially destroying another black man who was just trying to create and find another way. And he actually has great work ethic. He ended up changing his rap name. He still does music and stuff, you know what I mean? And he's still active in the community and the hip hop culture. But for me, like, it wasn't one and done. He said some slick shit on a record. And like I told you, I listen to everybody's shit. I pick Sundays. Sundays are my days. If there's no like I watch football, and in between football, I'll listen to all the local rap shit or watch the videos, and then I'll watch, because I'm old, I watch all my TV shows. And if I happen to stay up too late, miss my TV shows, I record them and watch them the next day. He said something in a rap record.
Like,
thought I did.
That's crazy.
Thought I didn't hear it.
That's crazy.
Thought I didn't hear it. And I made sure he knew.
He knew I heard that.
I heard it, my nigga. Mm-hmm. And I had already warned you several times. You know what I mean? So, but
that's funny.
It could be a one and done. I mean, you don't, because when you do stuff like that, if you keep on it, it could turn into negative energy. Because you might have a nigga with you, you might have some bitches with you might have some women with you that like start feeling away and start talking shit over here from the side, and then it escalate into some bullshit.
When me and Manny had our little beef thing going on, I had a friend of mine that was on the other side of town hanging out with some females, and they invited some other dudes over, and one of those dudes was one of Muldu Manny's friends.
Yeah.
And then so and this was right after it was all popping off and whatnot, and the guy was telling my buddy how Muldu Manny beat me, yada yada, woo to woo, and my friend explained to him, that's cool, you can have your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock with my dude.
My guy. Yeah.
So keep that. But the dude didn't put it away. He kept pressing it because they were drinking all night. My homeboy had to punch him in the fucking face.
And that's how it happens.
Left the girl's house and walked from East Side to my house on Diamond at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He was like, he showed up and said, yo, I got to tell you this story. This just happened.
That's a long ass walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah. So man, like, that's what I mean by it, man. But like, it's
how shit could escalate.
Yeah, because because some people start feeling away.
Yeah.
Some people start feeling away and be like, you know what, that nigga kind of got off on me.
See, but I don't know. It's like when these niggas is doing these records. I mean, especially that shit. Like, nigga, you saying some shit that you don't say. You know, I mean, some of the,
you don't stand on that. Like, that's not you.
Are you just rapping?
Are we
right
rapping
now?
right now? Because if we're rapping, I can deal with that.
Yeah,
but if you're talking some other shit,
saying something like this,
Well, we finna see.
Okay.
We finna see. So, you know, and yeah, I get it, man. I've been there before, and I've been in situations where I was like, man, like, I'm not even finna say nothing back to that nigga, man. Like, that's a waste of my time, because if he push a button, I slap his little ass up under a motherfucking piece of sheetrock. I'm not fucking around, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was the thing, like, and like, you know, like, I won't get into great detail, but there's someone that, like, they know they got to see me eventually.
Yeah.
Right?
Some niggas that know that time's coming.
I'm a nigga that's standing on principles,
yeah, and
right? And when I see you, right, I'm gonna hold you to it, man. I'm gonna hold you to it. And so, you know, it is what it is. So, but sometimes you gotta stay away from the negative energy, man, and the fucked up people, and also you gotta watch your circle, the niggas around you.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that too.
Yeah.
So you got this song with you did a song with Tay Tarantino.
Yeah.
And recently, Rico G came out with some his
so
own
listen,
paperwork.
Once again, I come from a culture. I've been to prison. Unless you see somebody's name on paperwork, you don't say anything. Yeah. So rewind back to what's in your head. I'll tell you the story. I'm in the middle of recording Black Polar Bear, and what I was doing is sometimes I get in these creative modes, and I'll buy up all the studio time. So Raw, I bought up 2 weekends worth of studio time. And the first weekend I was there, I was knocking out records. And Tay tried to come in, and I'm like, no, Raw, I'm not. We're doing fucking 12 and 14-hour days, dog. Like, we're in here. Yeah, I'm not leaving. And then when I do business and we have an agreement, I stick to it, motherfucker. You've been paid, homie. Yeah. You've been paid, bro. You've been paid. Unless I say we stop and that nigga can come in here, we keep going, my nigga. But me and Raw have a great relationship, a working relationship, and he knows how I am. And so the first weekend, Tay popped up, tried to get in. I had been watching him and hearing him and been in passing, him leaving the studio, me coming in and seeing all the things that he was doing. And I'm a fan of the culture, man. Anybody that's doing something that's moving in a forward direction, like, I'm a supporter. I'm gonna post their video or like they shit. You know what I mean? Like, and so, but I was like, you know what? There's a dynamic there. Like, we probably don't fit together doing music. So that was the first weekend I thought about it. I was like, man, I should do a record with him. And then the next weekend came, and I admired the fact this is a real story. He sat outside the fucking studio in a car, writing music, waiting for his chance to come in and knock out records. And I bought up the time, and I was not leaving. I got musicians coming in.
That nigga still out there.
Still out there. So listen, I made Raw sample the Cranberries. He sampled the Cranberry beat. That's where that comes from. What's in your head? All the Tubby shit, all this shit, right? So, like, I tell him, I'm like, hey, man, tell that little nigga to come up here. Tell me to come up here. And he came and I was like, yo, I got a record for you. And we created What's in Your Head. We talking about police brutality and social injustice, right? Because I can't be on a record with you, and I can see through. We can't be on a record together unless this concept makes sense, right? Yeah. I can't have you on a record with me talking that talk.
If I don't agree with you say,
well, yeah. And so what I did was I admired his work ethic and the quality of the product that he was putting out, and so I came up with a concept, and I called him in the studio, and we knocked the record out. Fast forward. George Floyd shit happens. Me and him had already shot a video. I put the video out. I'm getting emails and phone calls and people asking, can we perform it here? Can we do this? I'm starting to get all of these things, right? And the record, organically, because you go look at the videos and look at the stream, like the record, it just came out at the right time. Yeah. And it was what was going on. And then I put some money behind the record to push the record more. And right after I pushed the money behind the record, someone that I trust and I respect dearly came to me and they said, yada, yada, yada. They told me about this situation. This is without paperwork. So you know what I did? I never passed judgment on him. I never said anything to him. And I never stopped, I didn't not fuck with him. But what I did do is I had to be a man of principle. I take the word of this gentleman that told me this information, very valuable, We're on a song rapping about social injustice and police brutality. I can't push this record or promote this record because you're on this record and you're not standing on what we're talking about. You talk to the police. So for me, it was a thing of principles. It killed me, bro. Like I turned down some opportunities,
man. I only
man.
saw 2 sentences in there from that paperwork. All it said was that the police approached him to ask him if he knew who Rico G was. He said they were.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know. I'm sorry, sir.
Right, he didn't say that.
I don't know anything. I'm sorry, sir. I choose the right to invoke my Fifth Amendment, or I choose the right to have an attorney present. It's easy. It's that easy. And what's the first thing they say to you when they run up on you? You have the right to remain silent. And niggas, every American citizen just keeps forgetting that. Well, why didn't you? That's what people in my union.
You want to talk your way out of it? Go ahead.
Yeah. You might be able to, but shit, man, look at me. They're not.
Yeah, right now it's not the time to talk your way out of it.
It's out of shit, man. And I don't talk to police, man. Like, they ain't never done me no favors, man. You know, and granted, like I said, man, like, and then when the paperwork came out.
There we go.
When the paperwork came out, here's the thing. I still never said a word. You want to know why? Because I don't want to be a part of anything that tears down another black man. And so I stayed quiet. Did I agree with what I read? No, I didn't. It's that simple. It's easy.
Do you feel like it's my job to report on that?
Yeah. It's your platform. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing for the culture. This is what... Here's the thing. At least, right? At least you're reporting and touching on the truth. You got fucking major media outlets that will report some shit that's a flat out lie.
That's not even the truth.
That's not even the truth. So, and here's the thing, what I want to make sure you keep doing is having the uncomfortable conversations and having an open dialogue, because people are neglecting. That's what real media is. That's what the real shit is. This is what you're doing, man. Continue to do it. Don't, you know what I mean? Some of the shit that I see on podcasts is a bit much, right? Like, what's the dude's name? 1090 Jake?
Yeah.
You know, like, yo, my nigga, like, I get what you're doing, right? Yeah. I get what you're doing. I respect it, but be careful. Then I see guys like...
You know who that is? Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah,
oh, is that? Oh no, that's the.
It's the white boy that expose people. So I'm like, be careful, because somebody might feel away and crack your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the nigga told, but he might have somebody that feel away and bust your shit. You know, and then you got guys like, I wish, because the culture would stop paying attention to guys like him, like DJ Academics. That's my personal opinion. I don't know the man, but I just see the negative energy and the stereotypes that he injects into the culture. I also think that people should be weary of talking to DJ Vlad. I feel like Vlad, if he ain't the feds, he the CIA. You have to see how these people operate. You know, I wish they would hold more stories on their platform about positive shit in hip hop community. Instead of so much negative shit and so much drugs and so much who got killed. That's
what all three of those do.
They do that a lot. Yeah. They do that a lot. But then, right, somebody asked me the other day about Joe Budden. And I said, you know what? I feel like in our culture, he is the antithesis to Bill O'Reilly. You need people like him.
Yeah.
You need people like Budden in the culture to say shit and hold people accountable. He's not going to kiss your ass. Yeah. He ain't going to. So... Do I like everything he say? No. Do I sometimes I be like, he's on some sucker shit right now? Yeah. But then again, there's other points like he be saying shit. I be like, damn, yeah, that nigga got a point.
Yeah, why did you do that? Yeah.
You know, so
that's interesting. So the shit with you said you only saw 2 lines.
There's only 2 lines.
It was really only 2 lines, but 2 lines is too much.
Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. Shit, because.
I read it. I read
that's
it.
What I was gonna say.
Yeah, I read it.
Way more.
I read more than that, but there were 2 lines that were definitely damaging and devastating for him.
Yeah,
like,
because to me, it was like the whole thing was all.
It's a paragraph.
The whole thing was damaging.
Yeah.
The whole thing was from the approach show, and he said he knew him as just a local rapper. You said why? Why'd you even
say that?
What do you, oh, man, this is some shit.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, okay, because I know people who know the dude, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and know him from and I'll be like, yo, so what type of nigga is this? You know what I'm saying? And the nigga, and she was like, that nigga parents is they was government officials or they was government. He had a good life growing up. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about. So we talking about suburbia out here playing.
But if you go back, if you look at it, right, he don't come from the culture. He come from a different environment, different upbringing. If that's his upbringing, I don't know his upbringing. If that's his upbringing, like I knew at 5 years old, don't talk to the police. I knew when I went to kindergarten, what happens in this house stays in this house. It's different culture, right? It wasn't like, I didn't go to, daddy was beating mommy. No, nigga, what happens in this house stays in this house.
Time. So
culturally, is it all right? Yes and no. I mean, it just depends on how you was raised. It just depends on how, what's been put in your brain and how your shit function and how your parents groomed you or raised you.
Damn. See, but I don't know. I guess I feel like, okay, we decided to do this. This is a part of this. And if that's what you're doing, nigga, then, you know what I'm saying? What is you?
So it goes to this. That's why the record I chose to do with him was the record I chose to do with him. Because I seen it. I seen that. I always tell my kids that hate when I said, man, I seen that movie before. And they're like, what are you talking about? I seen this. I know it's about to happen, nigga. Yeah, I'm finna tell you. I can see this shit. I seen the movie before. And so that was the thing. But what I do hope for is that, in times like these, that he has a strong support system, so he can find peace, and so that he can find solid ground to stand on. Because I would never want to be where he's at. I've never been in that particular type of situation. I've never pointed a finger at nobody. My name never landed in paperwork, but I definitely went through hard times, and I'm pretty sure he's having a hard time because social media is undefeated and it is an unfair place.
It is undefeated.
Yeah, straight up.
And if you do not have the wherewithal, the strength, and or solid people around you, no telling what he could do to someone else or do to harm himself, because mental health is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing, man. Like, I just lost my cousin to suicide, but the internet beat me up so bad for fucking and my lawyer kept saying, don't say anything. There'll be something else that pops up on the internet and they'll forget all about you. Those motherfuckers bought up ad space, man.
To make sure on the internet, on the same place that you're saying something else is gonna pop up.
Ad space, man. And I got kids that are teenagers, that are in school. Counselors are pulling them out of school. Are you okay? Out of class, are you okay? Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I hope that he finds some, this is just me being a human being. I hope he finds some solid people around him, like maybe his family, or, and he finds some loving arms and stuff, and and that's important. But on the other hand, hey, man, don't be talking to them people. And
I was about to say, but you might not have been the guy who ever pointed the finger, but you might have been looking at some fingers.
You feel me? I don't know, man. That ain't who I am, man. That ain't who I am.
I just had somebody ask me what I felt on, and I was like, I don't have enough information to really formulate an opinion yet.
Yeah, so I hope he find some peace somewhere. The internet is a fucked up place,
dog. A while back, you went back and forth with Fat Trophy Wife over some shit?
No, I didn't go back and forth.
You made some posts.
Oh, I did. Well, because what happened was,
I think you made it a little more relevant around here.
Well, let me make it very clear. Trophy used to be my nigga, right? That was my friend, right? She came to the hip-hop scene. I helped her get into the hip-hop scene. Brought on a radio station, played her music, plugged her in. You know what I mean? We didn't have no women artists, right?
Yeah.
Never said shit to her. I got in my legal situation. I can talk about this stuff now. I got in my legal situation. Trophy was the go-between between me and my co-defendant, because she knew my co-defendant. Me and my co-defendant, we wasn't supposed to have no communication, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One night hanging out with Trophy, I told her my plan to intertwine my legal situation and my music and et cetera, et cetera. Trophy took advantage of that opportunity. Trophy went and filed, and this is weeks later, months later, mind you, some time later, went and filed a sexual, some type of sexual restraining order against me. At this time, I'm fighting for my life already. I'm looking at 20 or 30 years. And to me, at the time, I thought she was my friend, bro. So she claims that an incident happened, right? She goes to police, makes this report, takes the report, puts it all on social media, puts it all in these groups.
Shut up.
And the bash Mike Coffee, the bash Starbuks begins, right? I'm already fighting for my life, bro. Like, I'm already looking at 20 or 30 years in prison. I've been fighting. They're dragging it out. You know the plea deal them crackers offered me? They said 15 years with 5 suspended. I said, I'll see you at trial.
Hell yeah.
Right? I'll see you at trial. In the midst of fighting for my life, now who I am as a man, the very fabric of who I am as a man and as a human being is being also tried in the court of public opinion. And people are killing me, bro. People made fake accounts. Bitches that felt away because I didn't fuck with them no more or shit ended badly, right? Now everybody's in these groups. Everybody's saying shit. You got niggas in group chats, right? That's another thing. You got niggas. You got, bruh, listen. And a lot of these niggas don't even know that the people who genuinely knew me was like, yo, this, you know what I mean? Like,
that shit crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was down bad, bro. Like mentally and emotionally, like I'm fighting the law. You know what I mean? Like now I'm fighting the court of public opinion. And so, long story short, we ended up going to this hearing. And she showed up, her and her husband to the first hearing. Her and her husband showed up to the second hearing. And it's a female judge, and the judge is ruling in her favor. I'm not saying a word, bro. I'm not saying a word to anyone. I just stayed quiet. Next, finally they set the date to hear both sides. Well, she shows up, and the judge is like, well, the evidence that you want to present, you have to give his side the evidence, and his side has to give you all the evidence that they have.
Yeah.
And she said, so I'll put it off for another week. Well, the evidence that we provided was damaging, homie. First off, what a lot of motherfuckers didn't know was I was on an ankle monitor. Right? So,
yes.
Right? So, first off, I was on an ankle monitor. Right? Secondly, there were some things that took place. And the ankle monitor was able to substantiate my story. Then there was things that we located off the internet. On top of that, when she filed this restraining order or whatever it was, she did it the day of her and her now soon-to-be ex-husband's day of her anniversary. This is what it boiled down to. We went back to court. We presented that evidence, and she did not show up. And the judge got that evidence. And you know what the judge did, who was a female judge? She said, I am not only dismissing this, I am denying this. She didn't show up when she got our side of the evidence, homie. That's what people didn't know. All this time, right? We waiting, they dragging this shit out months. They all on the internet with this shit. I go in public, I see her husband. He tries to press me in a bar in front of a whole bunch of people. I'm out on $30,000 bail, homie, and I'm looking at 20 or 30 years. What the fuck you think I'm finna do? I'm not finna say shit to you, dog.
Yeah.
This shit is small fries.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to handle this shit. It hurts, it sucks, it makes you look bad. You know, you got bitches ganging up on you. You got niggas saying slick shit.
Niggas
looking at you some type of way, you know. But man, you trying to run up on me, and homie, if I hit you with one of these, I'm gonna wear your ass out. Yeah. So I stayed quiet. I did what's in my best interest. Then when I was vindicated, those are those posts that I had made. But I slept on it at night, and I woke up.
You said you had to wait on it.
Yeah, I woke up and I took them down because I was making her too relevant. And on top of that, when you're in a position that I'm in, and you're a black man like me, sometimes you have to take the high road. But what I did do for people, what I brought with me today was I brought paperwork to show what she did. So she knew her jug was up. So you know what she did? She went to the state troopers and told them that I had been having communication with my co-defendant and got us both rearrested. I got the paperwork.
You told.
She told.
What the heck?
So when her jug was up, when the game was over, that's what happened. So I went to jail again they didn't take my bail money while I'm out on all this bail money. And then I got a bail out and my co-defendant got a bail out. We got a bail out again on the same charges. So violation conditions of release, unlawful contact, communicating with your co-defendant.
Yeah, you said
paperwork.
Give us
paperwork
that.
in my bag right now. Brought it so people can see it. Say R.H. Ray Lynn Howard. But here's another thing.
That's the name of the messenger.
So let me, some of my old bitches gonna be mad and some people gonna feel away. But look, this is what fucked me up, right? So there was other niggas that had fucked with the bitch, right? She sucking they dick, fucking on them, whatever. Couple of the niggas I understood, they had families, they had women, right? Couple of the other niggas, it was out of, they didn't want to be embarrassed. I'm here to tell you, the bitch was sucking dick for cream of the crop sweaters, bro.
Shut up.
The bitch was sucking, bro, I hate to be like this because I don't want to be one of them niggas, but like, this is what, but bro, like.
This is what we're talking about This is what was happening.
This is what was really happening. And here was the thing though. What was the fucked up thing though. Other niggas stood by and let me be the sacrificial lamb and never came to my rescue and never said nothing.
Hell
They
no.
didn't say shit.
Knowing that this is like this.
One of my white homies came to me, right? Not gonna mention his name, but he came to me, he did some stand-up shit. He was like, yo, bitch came at me funny. And I want to tell you that I understand and I feel for you and you know what I mean? Like he was like, I believe you. He empathized. He was like, man, I believe you. Yada, yada, yada. There was other niggas that was like, man, I'm not saying shit. I'm like, man, for real? Like, you just gonna let a nigga get fried like this? So I didn't hate nobody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't hate nobody, but I learned. I kept during that time period. That's why I told you. During that time period, I prayed for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And sometimes they tell you be careful what you pray for.
Yeah.
And I had to be careful because all of the knowledge that I was gaining about people that really weren't my friends, right, and really wasn't my real family, and really didn't mean well for me. And then all of the wisdom I was gaining, it all showed.
What to do? Yeah,
it all showed, bro. It was hurtful. And that nigga Tony Taylor reached out to me, man. He was like, "Yo, man, I'm just tapping in with you. I'm just checking on you, making sure you okay."
How you doing? Not can I get? Not hey, come do this. Just hey, man, I know you got some shit going on in your life.
That was another thing. That was another point with the whole Tubby shit. Like I knew they was in group chats talking shit, but right, I'm supposed to be your mans, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't even pick up a phone, my nigga, and be like, "How you doing, my nigga? Are you okay?"
Pride.
That's
like
crazy.
So for me, it changed a lot of things. I didn't say much, but I can tell you this. When I have records come out or when I do, I'm going to be ruthless. Like, I don't care. At a certain point, I'm at a point where, like, I took the high road for a very long time.
Pride and principles.
I took the high road for a very, but you know what? I'm not going to put my hands on anybody. I'm not going to go on a fucking long-ass campaign bashing anybody. When I address it, like addressed it here, like or if I address it in a record, that's it.
Then that's it. I'm done talking.
I'm done talking about it. She know what it is. You know what I mean? But like, hey man, like shit was fucked up, bro. And I learned. I was thinking to myself, and then when I was vindicated of everything, right? I had a couple moments of I want to call them clarity, but I don't know if they're clarity. So I came across a couple different people that I was reading that were commenting in those groups and on those things. And let me make sure everyone knows. I want to look at which is the best camera.
This one's for you.
I read and looked at every one of those posts and every one of those likes from the alleged robbery case and all the Fairbanks TVF and all KTVF from the alleged shit that she posted and all them little groups you motherfuckers was in. I read every fucking comment. I screenshotted everyone. And you know what I did? It took a couple weeks to compartmentalize. I took that shit and I loaded up on jet fuel. And if you just so happen to get torched in a record or in an interview, deal with it.
Yeah, because what's said is said.
I saw what you said. I see motherfuckers.
It's my turn to speak.
I was like, it's like, yo, I was just with this bitch yesterday, bro.
That's
like,
what
what the
That's what it is.
Her too.
Yeah.
It's time to talk.
This nigga ran across the bar to dap me up. And,
shut up.
Oh, what's up with you? Hey, how you doing? Nigga, I'm in the middle of a meal. Whatever. Come on, man.
And I
stayed up. I read them. I screenshot them. I saved them, and I read it, and I made sure I felt every painful thing, and I made sure I took notes on anyone that ever said anything. And if you land in my music as a punchline, or if you land as a joke, or if you land on something that's a social media platform, deal with it.
Yeah, you earn that.
That's so crazy because it's so small up there.
I was getting cooked.
I bet.
I was getting cooked, bro. And I was just, and the thing, that was the fucked up shit was like, the niggas that knew the backstories or like had dealt with the bitch or had involvement with, they just didn't say nothing. And she went on a whole campaign, she went on a whole campaign. And then, the little shit that happened on the airplane with her, I had people on the plane and they was like, yo, man, that bitch blew it out of proportion, but this is who she is. That's what she wanted. I gave her little 15 minutes of fame, but look, no one stopped streaming the album. I never stopped getting shows. I never stopped getting appreciated for my music or my contribution. You didn't stop my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't, bitch, I still got motion.
Yeah.
You know?
That's wild.
You know, and here's the thing, like, because I don't want to get too far into stuff, but there's things that I say in, like I got a new music video coming out soon. And there's things I say in the record where like to some they're appalling, but to, like it's just real. Like I'm being real, like I'm being honest. People are like, yo, my nigga listened to the record. He's like, yo, you just said that. It's like, yeah, nigga, because that's the truth. Right? If you want to know the true authenticity of who I am as a human being, as a man, like dig through some of my records and then go back. And I say shit sometimes that go over people's head and people miss it. You know, it wasn't for you. But sometimes sometimes you got to go back and catch it and get it.
You got to go back and get it. See, but what's crazy is that you could do that, or you could already have done that with some shit, and then a nigga like me who doesn't know could be like, oh, okay, go listen to it and be like, hey, this nigga's talking about this shit that he said on the show.
So now you can do that, right? Yeah. And then some of the shit that's coming out, like you gonna be like, oh,
that's what he was.
That's why he said that.
Who you talking about?
That's okay. That's where that come from. You know what I mean? So yeah, I said on a lot of shit, man. I stayed quiet, dog.
I like when you put your music videos together. You like to put a lot of Alaska in it.
Oh man, this is where I'm from. Like I tell people that all the time.
More with snow than you do without.
Yeah, I do. I tell people that all the time, man. Like, I'm not from nowhere else in the world. I'm from here, and you know the craziest thing about it? I can go in any place in the world, and as soon as I say I'm from Alaska, it's an icebreaker.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Right? Wait, what?
Wait, what, dude?
What?
Yeah.
No way. I'm like, they got black people in Alaska.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
whichever way it goes.
It's a great, and I definitely use it as a tool, and that's why I bought the chain, right?
Please, yeah.
And so when I was traveling on this tour and going to all these places, people see my chain, be like, yo, you from Alaska? And I'd be like, yeah. Getting contacts like that.
Yeah, right up.
Building relationships like that.
That's crazy. So you from what we've gathered, you've been on this scene for a long time. So that means you've seen the whole thing with Out to Cut and
all of it.
You know,
all of that.
Yeah. So the tough question, because you and Bay are cool.
We was cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were cool.
Times have changed.
I don't have no ill will towards him, but once again, like I said, I'm a man of principles. I'm gonna stand on mine.
Fair enough.
You know, when this airs, you know what I mean? Like I will have already taken my plea deal. I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm standing on principles. No one will ever be able to tell you they see my name, Michael R. Coffey Jr. in any paperwork. They can never tell you I pointed the finger. You know what I mean? And I have a lot to lose, man. I have a lot to lose. You know what I mean? And so it is what it is. I'm a man of principles. It don't matter. I'm standing on mine, you know, and people are like, how's this nigga keep getting out of jail? Let me teach young niggas something right now. And I don't like doing this, but I got to do this. This is real shit. They say if you're in the streets, right, you're either going to end up dead or in jail. You want to be the latter because that keeps you alive.
Right.
So, right, if you're in the streets and you're doing what you're doing, put some money away. Give money, get lawyer, right?
Keep
them on retainer,
Yeah.
right? Have resources for bail money or have some bail money put away. Because most of the niggas that you know, your favorite rapper, your favorite local, your favorite street nigga, ain't got money for a lawyer and ain't got money for bail. Get money, get lawyer. Remember that.
I think I saw this video. Wallow and Gilly the Kid were talking to Charlemagne, and Charlemagne was most scared of Nelly because Nelly came up in there and he said something to Nelly. And Nelly was like, "I keep retainers for motherfuckers like you."
Yeah. Like if I feel like if I feel like, oh, you try me?
Yeah.
All right, nigga, I crack your melon, I'll make bail.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, I keep it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Niggas is keeping the wrong thing on them. Niggas is keeping chains on them. Niggas is keeping blicks on them.
Yeah.
Niggas need to keep a retainer on them if you really out there.
Can't make 50 pound bail.
Right? I'm out on 20 right now. I'm not joking.
20, 50. Yeah, you can't make bail, but you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's tough on a nigga though. I'm
Pop
down bad.
All this messed up.
Down bad.
So you said you went on tour with Conway?
Yeah,
Did you
man.
learn anything?
You said what?
Did you learn anything?
I did. So the tour with Conway, there's a whole story behind it.
Conway.
The tour was brought to me by homeboy Anthony Danza. Shout out to Anthony Danza out of Seattle. Fuck with my guy. He was dealing with some shit, and he was like, yo, I got a line. Do you want to go on tour? And I was like, with who? And he knew I loved, the whole Griselda shit. That's my shit. And he was like, Conway the Machine. I'm like, fuck yeah, what's it going to take? So we put it all together. But the tour was out like 6 to 8 months, right? It was a while out. I figured that my legal situation would be taken care of by then. Well, the closer it got, I realized that it wasn't.
Yeah, we're going to have to, yeah.
And we were already invested, but what I had time and I had to plan. I could talk about this now because the case is concluded. The alleged robbery charges were dismissed, and I pled out to the
Congratulations.
Violations of conditions of release. So I don't have an issue talking. I went on tour with an ankle monitor. I went on tour on the West Coast. I juked the ankle monitor, right? So I left, and I went on tour. I wasn't supposed to be on tour. Snuck out, fly down to the first show. I got a Sprinter van. I got a handful of people with me. We recorded all the visuals. We recorded all the audio to every city that we went to. And shout out to Dustin. We're putting together a mini documentary and a podcast pertaining to everything with my legal situation and me sneaking. It was legendary, dog. Like, I only brought like 6 people with me. I brought my son with me, too. I brought my oldest boy with me. You know what I mean? He was 18, 19 years old.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Brought him with me. Like, we're moving in a fucking Sprinter van. And there was a portion in the tour, Conway's manager, shout out Chad. Chad was like, yo, man, at the beginning of this tour, you were kind of the butt of all the jokes. Like, yo, this nigga's from Alaska. He said, man, you are not a joke anymore.
Hell yeah.
He's like, it is not a joke. You know what I mean? So I got guys that I met on that tour that are on the new project. Shout out Skeeter Heist, man. He gave me jewels. He dropped jewels on me when we was on tour. You know what I mean? So, like, it was wild. So it was Conway's Love Will Get You Killed tour. And we went, and we was up the West Coast, and we was in 5 cities in 7 days or 5 cities in 6 days. I can't quite remember. And we were moving. Get off the stage.
Yeah, we got to go because we got another city to be in.
Yeah, and we was pulling up. We was moving so nice, like, all facts, right? We moving so nice in the Sprinter van and shit, and everybody looking fresh, and we just always on time. Every time we pulled up, we beat some of the main artists to the venue, and they was giving us their parking spots and shit because we was in a Sprinter van. They was giving us extra fucking access to shit. So we moved right. we moved right, but that was definitely legendary. And during that process, Benny's BSF, Benny was about to go on a tour, and I wanted to go on that tour. And they asked, like, yo, do you know anyone that could be on that tour? And I was like, yo, man, Duck Man. I was like, yo, I didn't want to put nobody else. No one else could move like that, you know, because I had set a level of standard of how to move, how we conduct ourselves, and how we do music, and so on and so forth. I just couldn't pass it off to anybody. So, but Duck ended up knowing some people that was tied into Benny, and, you know, and Duck has created his own relationship with, you know, Benny and Benny's people. But, like, a lot of people don't know because I couldn't use social media. So the whole time I'm on this tour, we're doing all this cool shit.
Yeah. You better not.
Yeah, so we just documented everything, right? We documented everything because, like, I couldn't use your Snapchats. I went to Seattle, one of Seattle's biggest artists, and his name is Ill Chris, Asian American cat. What's the dude from Chicago that passed away, overdosed? That was a good rapper, Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD's homie. He's like, yo, I showed up to the fucking show. I'm in Seattle. I'm in a throwback Griffey jersey, throwback Griffey shoes, and a fucking Mariners hat. He's like, yo, man, I didn't even know who he was. My homeboy Anthony Danza hadn't even showed. He was like, yo, man, I know you're not from here, but I appreciate you repping. You know, we end up talking and chopping it up. This motherfucker's got motion, dog. He took a picture of me and tried to tag me in it, right? Because we took a picture together and tried to tag me in it. And, like, I took the settings off. Because at the very first show, we hadn't even been there 8 hours. Someone seen me, took a picture, tagged me in it, and I didn't know. And my BM hits me and is like, yo, somebody tags you in the picture. I'm like, yo, man, because, you know, I'm not that, I don't know how to do all that technical shit inside the So we had to go, I had to take it down. So, yeah, I missed some opportunities, but the knowledge and the resources and the wealth of the information I gained are priceless, and the relationships I built are priceless.
Yeah, I was about to say you might have missed some opportunities, but you gained some relationships.
Oh, man, so for real.
As long as you have the relationship, the opportunity will come back.
And every time I pop up somewhere, the last time, you know, Skeeter Heisman seen me, I was in Houston, Texas for Trade Day. And we had all access. We was moving around. And I looked up and I was like, oh, he was like, what's up, my nigga? And I said, what's good with you? He said, man, you everywhere you supposed to be. And I said, you know what? You right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there one thing you wish you knew about going on tour before you went that you learned quick and fast?
Yeah, don't take no shit, man, from none of the promoters or none of the motherfuckers who put this show together. No, what I learned is you bring good people with you, right?
Good people.
And I did, and I was lucky, and the reason I was lucky to have good people around me and with me was because this was the most important thing. I had time to plan and prepare. And if you plan and prepare, you got a shot. You got a shot. And so the plan was meticulous. I hand chose the people. The way that everything was executed, I was fortunate. I learned. So I was asked recently to go on a tour, and I was like, that is not enough time. To prepare. Because shit goes wrong, dog. Shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
And if you have too many niggas with you, niggas got their own agendas. And own stuff going on. Right?
So the more people you got, the more problems.
More problems. So limit the people that you bring with. Plan and prepare. Limit the people that you bring with you. Then the individuals that you bring with you. Make sure that they have a purpose with you. I had an audio guy, I had a video guy. You know what I mean? Merch, right?
Somebody here that's gonna do something,
contribute. We gonna move, and we all knew what the plan was. It was a team. It was a team effort. So it wasn't just pulled off by myself, but there were certain individuals and people that were there
because they stand the game from it too. If they do their part right.
Yeah. You're right. I was gonna say something, but I skipped that part. I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, you right. You right.
So when I Googled your name, obviously Starbuks. At first, I couldn't find nothing, even with the correct spelling.
Yeah.
So then I type in Alaska, and then I type in Alaska rapper, and then I could find you.
Damn, for real?
Now, for how many years I've known you be Starbuks, why would you still fight the battle?
as for being who I am.
Being for still going to the name Starbucks.
Well, that's because who I am, and you have to understand how social media works and big corporate companies work.
Yeah.
You know, and then also this particular type of artist I am. I don't put a lot of I'm not content heavy. When my content comes out, there's a reason, there's a time, there's a place, right? I'm not constantly posting shit. I'm not constantly, you know what I mean? To create those webs, right? Those spider webs on the web, you got to be doing a whole, but I do a bunch of shit, right? And so the rap name, S for the streets, T for trendsetter, A for the R that a nigga bring with him, and I'm Bucks, right? Because I get to money, bro. Like, I was being called Starbucks back in 2001. Man, shout out again, Anthony Danza gave me that name. He's like, man, you're always on every street corner doing something. He's like, you're like a Starbucks. And you pop up everywhere. You're everywhere. And still to this day, bro, I'm everywhere, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a uphill battle, but it's part of who I am, and that's why I got all the new but a lot of people lately been calling me the Black Polar Bear or the Mayor,
I like that,
or Mr. Bacon Soda Box. Like,
that's probably
those ones been sticking. Those ones been sticking. My niggas that I used to get money with her from my neighborhood, they call me Mr. PFD or Love Me Like the PFD.
That's a
you know what I mean? So like I got a bunch of names, but like I started with Starbucks, and so I'm gonna keep it until the motherfuckers press me, because you can't fight money like that.
So
you know,
I want to know something. Do you feel like if somebody's rapping, they should be rapping about their personal experiences, or are they cool to tell another story?
Well, see, I had to learn that, right? I had to learn that because I feel like music for me is therapeutic. So I write a lot about my personal life and things that I've encountered throughout my personal life. But on my last album, I wrote a story based off someone close to me, next to me. It's called War and Love. Love and War, yeah. And I seen it, and they expressed what it did to them and how they felt, right? And so I drew inspiration from their story, and I wrote about it.
There's that man-woman video you got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, and I left this, because people were like, you got to put a third verse, you got to like complete it. And I left it the way that I left it because I felt like if I would have put any more detail into it, it would have been easy to see where I gained the inspiration from. And I never wanted that record to affect the people involved. So, but no, you can draw inspiration from people. Don't tell another nigga story in the sense of like, like I was out here doing this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that
right there. No,
that's what I'm talking
man,
about. That right there, not inspiration.
It's if you're gonna draw, you can draw inspiration from another human being. You know what I mean? But boy, I'm not finna get up.
Boy,
yeah, I'm not finna. That's just my personal belief. Like, man, don't do that. You be creative, but don't steal. That's stealing. That's stealing another nigga's story. That's stealing.
Okay.
So after I Googled your name and whatnot, and I found a little bit of music. Google also provided a couple of recent questions about Fairbanks, and I figured I'd ask you too. Is Fairbanks, Alaska a good place to live?
Yeah, if you're not me. Yeah, if you're not me. It is. That's my home, man. That's where I'm from. Things haven't always been great for me there. I haven't always been received with open arms, neither has my family, but I never changed growing up anywhere else in the world. That's why I got a chip on my shoulder. I like to think of myself as a blue-collar guy. I'm going to grind. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to push through. And being from Alaska has helped me in certain situations. So it's a good place to live. You can make a good living. I mean, it ain't much to do if you're a teenager, right? If you a teenager and shit, but it's growing, shit's growing, it's getting better. So
And I also see all your legal troubles online too. But
Yeah.
I was telling my wife about it, but then I was like, but I've also seen you post like letters from the mayor or something about.
No, that was the senator. So
some good shit. You know? I'm like,
we'll get into that when I kick freestyles. We'll get in it. So see that I'm glad you brought that up. So some of those bars won't go over people's heads, right?
Yeah, because I see, he's an upstanding citizen. He's done good things for his community. He's been recognized.
The senators know.
People.
The senators know who I am. They know me on a first name basis. This particular situation I'm in is unfortunate, right? It can't cloud my entire life because it's only a small piece of my life,
it's just
right? I am what I am is what I had to learn myself is that I am a figure and a pillar in my community, right?
Yeah.
And I have to definitely understand that there's a responsibility to come with that. So when senators know you on a first name basis and they come into your neighborhood and look for you or send people for you, that means you mean something to the community.
Yeah.
And so I'm in an unfortunate situation, but I take full accountability and responsibility for letting the community down.
What do you know why people originally settled in Fairbanks? Is that a military place or what?
No, money, man. Like there's a lot of fucking. That's why I coined the frame, oil money, right? You go back, listen to records. That's what I'm talking about. Like, yo, there's a lot of money here, right? Money, jobs, right? And people are like, man, I didn't know there was black people. And I said, yo, man, Alaska's ethnically diverse.
Very.
And I said, and there's like, well, how? I said, man, anytime that you get an abundance of natural resources, people from all over the world come to get them. If you look, I say Alaska's the northern Africa. That's what it is. When you come to natural resources and wanting to make money or mine natural resources, those are two of the places that you come.
It's here, huh?
You know?
That's an interesting perspective on it. I never thought about it like that, but it really is.
Yeah, when I went to college, I was culture shocked when I left here and went to Oregon. And I was happy when I see my first nigga.
Ducks.
The first black, that was before I got there. And when I got there wasn't many there either.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There wasn't many there. Nigga, they didn't even have a place
Eugene?
Yeah, Eugene. They didn't have a place to cut black hair when I got there, nigga.
Damn.
Yeah. Marvin Jackson, shout out Scrap Iron. Marvin Jackson took me downtown Eugene on 5th or 6th Avenue in a back alley in an apartment complex. And shout out to Jason.
You don't have to talk about that right now.
Yeah, Jason was cutting hair in the living room of an apartment. He had a barber chair in there. I got my hair cut. Shout out Marvin Jackson.
Jeez,
shout out Jay. I remember that.
Because the way that was going, it was like, we don't want to hear about your extracurricular activities.
No, I didn't know what.
Because the back street behind the
back alley behind the dumpster.
Yeah, that's what it was like. And here was the thing. So when we're doing this and we're going, I'm with Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron never been in no trouble. He run track. He's a good dude. So like he says, I'll take you get your haircut. I'm gonna take you get your haircut. I'm like, nigga, where are we? And where are we going? He said, just trust me, man. And we got there.
Some hole in the wall.
It was an apartment. It was a fucking apartment. He had a barber chair in there, spinning niggas around, cutting hair. He had no barber license. He's cutting heads.
It was clean.
Hey, I came out. I got bitches that night.
Hey, it was clean, see? Shit.
The last Google question was, how many police officers are in Fairbanks, Alaska?
Too many.
No,
I don't know.
Let's say it like this: how many clean dishes are there?
I just didn't
because I've heard numerous things about. I mean, fuck it. I mean, it's probably known about how
there's some bad polices, man.
I was about to ask you about the troopers.
There's some bad polices, man. And the unfortunate thing, right? Just like when you're black, or when you come from gang culture, or when you come from a certain culture, community, one bad apple spoils it for the rest. So just because they're police officers doesn't mean that they're not held to the same standard. So there's some bad polices. I know that all of the police ain't bad. I also know that I'm an easy target. I'm a moving target, but I'm an easy one. You know, I'm a figure in the community.
I'm a big guy. I'm slow.
Yeah,
I don't move too fast. Not that hard to find me.
Yeah.
Creature habit.
Yeah, right. A routine. Yeah. So I just know how to move because I've been moving there so long. I'm from there, you know.
Yeah.
So I know how to move, but yeah, it's
a lot of does the hip hop scene get a lot of fights and stabbings out there?
No.
No.
That's why I was telling you earlier. I'm definitely proud of the culture and the hip hop culture from my area.
No shootings, no, nothing like that.
No.
It's not
No.
like that.
That's more of the Anchorage thing.
You know, I'm not from Anchorage again. This isn't my city.
I know you see it. I know you hear it.
I just know this. When I come to Anchorage and when I come to other cities, out of respect for the city and the people that I fuck with, I check in. I tap in with real niggas, right? And it's not a punk thing. It's not a bitch thing. It's a man thing, right? Because when you come to my city, you better check in with me. Tap in with me.
You better
feel
say
me?
something, huh?
Say something.
Don't be out here doing your thing.
This ain't a free-for-all, nigga.
Yeah, you in somebody's backyard.
You know, but also, it's different generations, man. Like, I'm secure in my masculinity. Like, it ain't gonna hurt me when I touch down in Texas, you know, and tap in with a Jay Prince or tap in with a, you know what I mean? Because this is their shit,
yeah,
right? And so same thing, you know, pertaining to Fairbanks and Anchorage. What I think it is age, right?
Yeah.
And I've been saying this a lot. I've been telling this to my sons because both of my sons, my oldest sons got shot in the same calendar month.
Shut up.
Right?
Damn.
And I've always, I've always taught my children, if you can't communicate with a nigga and come to agree to disagree, if you got to shoot a fade. When it's over, right? But what I didn't take into context is that I'm from a different age group. We got on the street, fought, got it over when it was over. And if you see the nigga again, you felt like you need to run it again, run it again.
You can run it again, you get
right?
your shot, you get your shot.
But here's the thing. We weren't landing on the internet. We weren't becoming memes.
Yeah.
We weren't becoming gifts. We weren't. Our situations were not ultimately lasting forever in a place that they could do that they could never get to.
Yeah, they can never take it down.
They can't get it down. It can't stop circulating. You feel me? So like, you know. So and then you know. And here's the thing: it's pride, and they're so underdeveloped in the sense of having social skills. And pride is a social skill, right? It is, and how to deal with other people and other cultures, and like not allowing someone's culture to make you have
make you feel offended.
To make you feel offended, right? Mm-hmm. So they're under, you know, and that comes with, and that's what I say, age, man, like the generation. And so that was something I had to learn. I had to have a hard conversation with my sons. I said, you guys are not felons. You guys have no criminal histories. And I said, you're old enough, get legal firearms. Keep it on you.
Yeah,
and shoot straight.
Yeah,
You're a red-blooded American like everybody else, right?
Exercise your right.
Exercise your right. Do it the right way. Do like everybody else that you know do. Go get you legal guns and keep them on you. I'd rather have you here than have to stand over you and bury you. And that was a hard conversation to have with my sons, but I had to have it with them.
And that's the truth, though.
It's the truth.
Because if that's what you're gonna do, it's a way to do it.
Exactly, right? And I'd explain to them, like, when I was a kid, I had been so conditioned to be like, having a gun was a secret, right?
Yeah.
At a certain age, it's a secret. But when I became when I became a man and I didn't have no felonies and and I had the right to firearms, in my brain was conditioned. This is a secret. I'm not even supposed to have this, right? And so I needed to make sure I started telling them, you legal, you got your license, you got your shit, you go to the classes, nigga, buy them up.
Yeah, see, but if you're gonna be out there and you just
and that's the thing.
Niggas know who. If I know you got one, then okay.
You know, it's even kill. Yeah. But that's the thing, like, right? So, but that's the thing, like they're good. They're good kids, man. Like they don't, you know. Yeah. And so, but it was an uncomfortable conversation. The new record I got coming out is called "Hold On to This," but I addressed that in the record. You know what I mean? I addressed some of those things in the record, and off the air. I'll let you guys see the video or hear the record. Yeah. So
yeah. I remember when you were showing me that last video, one of the more recent ones you came out with. Didn't you put a chunky white girl in there on purpose?
Yeah, that was all.
Oh, okay.
So that was my poke back at, I changed the name. I changed the name. I forgot the name of the
in the video.
Yeah. But yeah, that was to
I thought that
poke fun.
Yeah,
that was to poke fun, right? That was my way at that particular time.
I was just thinking in my head, add Ray.
Yeah, so that was my way of poking fun. Like, and some people got it, some people didn't. But now, I hope
motherfuckers who know,
who knew. They was
now,
like,
when I watch it won't go over my head.
And niggas was like, a couple niggas was like, nigga, you are crazy for that, I put her, and then the nigga that plays the cop in there, the dude that plays the cop in there, looks just like the dirty cop.
The dirty cop.
Yeah. He goes into way more detail when he produces his music, when he does his music videos. They're really strategically put together. It's really he takes a little more pride in all that back end to bring it to the front.
To put it all in that for the
whole
shebang.
We're gonna take a break and come back and answer these world random questions.
Yeah,
and spit some bars.
Let's do it, man.
Good, yeah,
all right, this podcast is sponsored by Magic Media. Stay tuned, y'all.
Don't make me walk this chopper. Big whip, we ride it. No place for you to hide it. Drop location and we slide it. Don't make me walk this chopper. Don't IG flex, we cool and pull a hop out with them shoulders. Boy, you gon' make me